Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. This episode is brought to you by Transfuse. Transfuse is the only all-natural electrolyte drink that you guys need to have in your cabinets. We love this stuff. We've been using this for an entire season now. This stuff is amazing. I feel great when I drink Transfuse. I drink it every single day. I don't go a day without putting a packet of Transfuse in my water. It's very easy, very portable, easy to travel with, and delicious to drink, which means that you're going to love drinking it and you're going to drink more of it, which is going to be incredibly beneficial to your health. Has magnesium, potassium, sodium, which are all amazing for proper hydration. It has zinc, vitamin C, vitamin B, and choline. These things are incredible cognitive enhancers and immune boosting formulas that you don't want to miss out on, especially in times like this. I'm telling you, I drink Transfuse every single day. I love it. Tyler does as well. Anybody who has tried it has been just pouring with great feedback back to us. There's a reason that they're at all the NXL events, and a lot of the top teams and top professionals are using this product. Do not walk around dehydrated. I never realized how dehydrated I was, even when I was drinking all sorts of water. It's not enough. You need the proper nutrition. You need the right ingredients. Transfuse has done a great job of curating the perfect formula. Transfuse is absolutely spectacular, and for all of our listeners, there is a special deal for any Play the Game listener. If you head over to translabs.com, that's TRANZLABS.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you will get 10% off. If you subscribe, which means they auto ship you your package every single month, whatever you want, whatever type, whatever flavor, whatever electrolyte formula you desire, they will give you an additional 11% off. So it becomes a 21% discount exclusively for all Play the Game listeners. Huge shout out, and we are incredibly thankful for our supporters. And if you guys would like to go support them, it's translabs.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME. We are brought to you by Heal Brand. Heal Brand is the best CBD company that we have ever come across. I've been taking CBD products for years now, and I absolutely love it. But Heal Brand has taken my CBD consumption level to the next tier. This stuff is really the luxurious, high-quality, best brand that you're going to come across. Their whole claim to fame is the nanotechnology. It's the real deal. The claim is that through their nanotechnology, the CBD can actually break through the cellular wall and get into the bloodstream much faster and more efficiently. So you need less to do more. Often CBD products, you'll need to take it for a couple weeks before you really start noticing all of the benefits. With this stuff, as soon as you take it, you notice it right away. Within 15, 20 minutes, you're feeling the benefits of CBD. CBD is great for inflammation, anxiety, sleeping, all sorts of different stuff. CBD is really exploding on the scene because it has such a wide variety of benefits. I personally love to use CBD before I go to bed so I can get a full, well-rested night of sleep. Sleep is so crucial. It's so important. If you want to recover well, if you want to fight off depression and anxiety and those unwanted emotions, proper sleep is where you need to start. CBD products really help me do that, and Heal Brand CBD has a wide variety of options of different products, different formulas. It is all natural. It's amazing. This stuff is fantastic. You guys can head over to healbrand.com, check them out, and there is an exclusive offer to all of our PTG listeners. If you use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you'll get 10% off. All right, PTG fam, we have none other than Yaya Boucher on the show. This was an awesome episode. The man, the myth, also known as the Leopard King. He is one of the brighter personalities in the game. If you guys aren't familiar with Yaya Boucher, you probably don't watch professional paintball. He is a cornerstone of Houston Heat, somebody who has been there from the very beginning, the inception of the franchise, and is someone who works his butt off behind the scenes. And this was just such a great episode because, you know, often Yaya is recognized as a little bit of a jokester. He has a persona of a very loud personality, and sometimes it can be tough to take him serious. But I got to admit, especially after this episode, one, I've been a fan for a long time, watching his rise to the top to become, you know, the one-on-one champ. He has multiple world titles. He's done some really great things, especially in recent years. He's become a dominant force in the professional league on one of the best teams to ever take the paintball field. And so much of it is clearly because of his mindset. He does a great job of explaining what has helped him get to this point in his career and what it takes to be the top, to be the best, to be one of the elites. This was a really fun one. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Chad, Yaya, Boucher, the Leopard King, the one-on-one champ over there in the ultimate shootout. The guy, the man. What's happening, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, baby.
How you doing today?
Doing good.
Good.
A lot better now that you're here.
I'm in the presence of 2 of the best one-on-one players in the world.
Yep.
I don't know. You're pretty good yourself, so I would say I'm in the presence of 2 guys that kind of made the blueprint there.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
man.
I trained against Marcelo before I even did the Pro Tour. He's the one that got me ready.
Yeah, we did.
It sounds like it's Marsh's time to step on the old platform.
Yeah.
It is, dude. We've been waiting for a good time and place. I think the last Ultimate Shootout was being filmed over Super Bowl weekend, and which was also my niece's birthday. And I was like, I'm definitely not going out to that one. And
they canceled it.
Oh, they did. Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even know.
Yeah, they canceled that. They, I guess because of weather or something happened with it, but they didn't run it. And then, because that's like Ronnie and I are in California for that. And then, then they didn't run it. And supposedly it's going to be later in the month or whatnot, but I'm not sure exactly like what they have going on with it.
I see. To be totally fair, I feel like my obligation, I do have to play Pro Tour probably before I play Ultimate Shootout.
I feel as if the platform that we're all sponsored by.
Yeah, 100%.
Is definitely fair.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think that you should play both though, because they truly are great formats. Because it's like boxing and MMA. If with Pro Tour, you're like a boxer. It's same bunkers, same style. It's gunfighting. It's about being really, really patient and, like you're going to get worn down on things and things like that, but that's like a boxer. And then MMA is a completely different style where a guy could just come at you as much as he can. And it's just, it's like what you really like, but playing both formats, I truly feel like I felt like a pit bull in a cage when I was playing Pro Tour. And that was like, really like, I've never felt that feeling where it was literally just like, go, 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 go. And I think that really got me ready for Ultimate Shootout.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that you do that kind of analysis on it, because I don't know if you're familiar, but we just had James Krause on the show. He's an actual UFC fighter, and it's pretty badass to talk about the similarities between our sport and his sport.
Yeah.
And Tyler always talks about the similarities in MMA and boxing and paintball, because there really is. There's so many. But yeah, I agree.
All paintball is, dude, we need to be playing as much paintball as humanly possible, whether it's 1-man, 2-man, 3-man, 5-man, whatever is available.
That was the biggest thing I actually said to a lot of people. So like, obviously, we're just coming off a season everybody's calling the COVID season or whatnot, but paintball is growing more than I've ever seen it grow in the last 10 years.
Yes.
And yeah, I get it. There was a season with COVID in it, but I mean, I don't think I've seen so many people like come to the fact of like how much paintball they wanted to play. I felt like, before when there was like the NXL and everybody's complaining, all of a sudden we want to have events again. Then all of a sudden it was people were just at the paintball field because they wanted to be there. And there was no more like, oh, I wish I had this or that. It was, oh, I'm just so happy to play paintball. Yeah. So it was almost like, it was something actually like looking out for it, of just being like, hey, like everybody was just happy with the product they were being served as far as paintball goes. So, but like you said, everybody should want to do different things. Like, no matter what it is, just play. Like, that's like the best thing is like win or lose at the end of the day, like you're doing something that's truly, I mean, with all 3 of us as an example, it's a passion of ours and we love it. And I think that everybody should have that passion.
That's the mantra of our podcast is play, like just straight up. And kind of like how, enjoy paintball, that kind of same vibe where just do it for the joy. Play the Game podcast. It's about the culture. It's about the sport, playing a lot of paintball, no matter what it is, in the woods, speedball. I was actually just talking to somebody today about this. It's hard sometimes to get people to go play because this shit hurts, point blank. Paintball hurts a little bit. And we were talking about that. And I was like, you got to start in the woods. Just go to the roots of the game. And then don't try to jump into speedball. Go to the roots, play some fun paintball in the woods, and then you'll fall in love with the other, aspects of it.
Well, I think also playing in the woods gives you 2 different perspectives. A lot of people and I think Rich Telford just said this to a lot of guys on Excessive. And
Shout out to Rich. Let's go.
Yeah. But everybody's got a warrior in their heart. So, if they can go play war in the woods, then, that's something they really want to do. And they don't have to kill somebody. They're actually they're just shooting somebody with paint. And I feel like that helps people because of the fact that, like, you know, a lot of people who are in the military and things like that enjoy the game of paintball because it kind of does give them that feed of, like, you know, that warrior in their heart. And, you know, a lot of us have taken it to another level with X-ball and things like that, which is great because it truly brings out like elite athletes in the game of paintball. But if you can play in the woods, I think you truly get joy out of a lot of things from the game, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Being able to play in the woods is massively important. One, it does so much for, I think even tournament players need to go and play in the woods. It teaches you about communication and working with your team, and everything's not so structured. So you have to be able to deal with a little bit of the chaos and manage. On the fly. So
I'm
I
actually
love
in the woods right now.
I see that. I see that. I thought you were visiting Oliver in Bali right there.
That's my boy.
Shout out, major shout out to all the listeners. You could head over to the YouTube channel real quick, and you can see Tyler's background there. He's got the Bali Flower of Life connection. Oliver's tuned in, zoomed in. Man, they're doing a pretty cool job with their headbands, huh?
Dude, they are. I think it's sweet. You know,
I do too. Yeah.
I think I like what they've done as far as, like, you know, it's Oliver in the game still, like, which is awesome. Because anything that Oliver does, I think, is truly great for paintball.
Totally.
You know, Alex is a sweet dude, and you know, just those two partnered up and like doing what they've always done, and then I think they're just gonna win at this too. Like everything they've done in paintball, they've done great things, and it's like for them to come out with that and like even put like literally like you have, and I tell people this with Lux and CS2s and things like that, is like you have like the Honda Accord to the Mercedes and the Bugatti, and if they wanted the Bugatti of headbands, like they're doing it right now, you know?
That's it. I'm going to pull mine out because you said that. I'm stoked. They just sent me one. But one, it's like everything, the boxing, the packaging.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like unreal. I mean, to get a headband and something like this, personalized note, beautiful headband with this like cool jewel pendant that comes on this thing. Like I was impressed when I got this. I really was. And, you know, you see a lot of stuff in paintball and a lot of it isn't impressive, to be completely honest. It's very, you know, just kind of turning the pages. But yeah, man, I think it is cool. And I agree with you. Having Oliver in paintball in any capacity is a win for the sport. So I like seeing that as well.
I heard he's coming back to play paintball.
Great.
Yeah. I heard he's coming
back. Fucking win another one? Son of a bitch.
He's like Tom Brady, dude. Makes it hard to how can you ever keep up? Bro, the craziest thing about this Super Bowl, so for the listeners, we haven't actually been on air since Super Bowl, but I was going for the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been my team for a long time. They were my dad's favorite team back when Montana played for him. So it wasn't a bandwagon thing truly growing up. Like it was the Chiefs and the Chargers, you know, which was always kind of a conflict, but the Chargers always let you down. The Chiefs were just fun to watch with my dad. So when they got good, I was like, fantastic. This is amazing. Huge Mahomes fan. Brady leaves the Patriots. He goes to Tampa Bay. Gronk comes with him. They kind of load up the offense. And from the start of this season, I was like, dude, I'm a Tampa Bay fan. That's sick. Like, it's a good story. If Brady can pull this off in Tampa Bay, there's almost no argument. Well, there is no argument. There was almost no argument before. He has 6 championships, right? He's done more than any other QB. Almost no argument. He shuts the critics down. So multiple things happen in this Super Bowl. One, he got his 7th, which is fucking crazy.
Got more than anybody.
More than anybody. It's unbelievable. But to me, what the most magical part about it was the fact that we've never gotten to see something like this. We never got to see MJ versus Kobe in the finals. We never got to see Kobe versus LeBron in the finals. Like the people that you compare to the other GOAT, it's always in such different generations that you never get to watch them play against each other. We got to see Mahomes versus Tom
I was
Brady.
calling a baby goat versus the goat, and
yeah.
And I mean, the thing is like you just said, like everybody's got to skip their generations. And I don't think that, you know, I don't think Michael sits back and is like, "Am I number one?" In his head, in his generation, he was number one. Is how Kobe played in his generation. You know, in between both of them, I think in his head he's number one. And I think that with LeBron, it's the same situation. So it's like those 3 people sit at a table. We can all sit around and argue about who does this and that, but like those people are truly elite at what they do. And that's the biggest thing, is like for people to argue back and forth and not like just respect the fact that those guys sit at a table, and then we should just appreciate that and then just go from there, you know? So
yeah, you're not wrong. They did some legendary shit there.
Yeah, I mean, it's another level. So, I mean, I just even like a lot of people should take it just even with Kobe's like work ethic. It's just like it was great. Like it was truly like he was never satisfied and he always knew the job was never done. And I feel like LeBron does the same thing. And he just like he says it, but he doesn't. You know, he's just in there and like a lot of his teammates will talk about it. Even Lonzo Ball when he played every day, he's just in there working. He's in there working. And like they had a horrible season when he first came there and he was just in there working. And it was like shit, like what's next? But Michael was the same thing, you know?
Dude, I can't even begin to tell you how much Michael Jordan I watched and Bruce Lee before World Cup.
I mean, that's
I was
honestly,
watching
like, those are things that get you ready to go.
Yeah, I was watching mass amounts of Michael Jordan and Bruce Lee, just like channeling the inner kung fu, you know?
I mean, it's whatever really clicks is like makes it go, whatever it goes. And it worked for you guys at World Cup. So it's just like,
yeah. Hey, every dog is going to eat every once in a while, you know? Yeah. Look at you. You're stacked up. You got trophies. You had enough of them. Let us have a couple, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you guys got a lot. Was it 20 years and in 2020 and you guys got another World Cup?
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. The storyline is crazy on that for sure.
Which is sweet. I don't think I'm like, you know,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've heard it enough. And that's the biggest thing is like, you win the World Cup, I shove it down people's throat. You win the World Cup. Just because it's just like, it's a great thing. I mean, you guys know, like, exactly, you guys know how hard it is to win a professional tournament. And there's a reason why only 6 or 7 teams have truly won in the last 10 years. And I mean, you might have your 1 or 2 flukes here and there, but like, I mean, it's hard, man. Everything has to click. The stars have to align, and it's just like professional paintball tournaments are no joke. Everything has to work out.
And it's even harder to win a World Cup. The flukes that you're talking about that win, you know, like another event in the season, they never win the World Cup.
Or even just like a first event, you know, like you have these guys that come in there and they win a first event, and it's like, okay, where does that go? And I mean, it's crazy to say, but there's teams that like Houston Heat's never won the first event. And in our history of the team, we've never won. That's something that we have a monkey on our back with, and we want to win a first event. But it's hard, but at the same time, is it a fluke for the teams that don't get to play in the winter?
You guys did win a first event.
No.
Yeah, in 2012 against us, Russian Legion. It was weird though because it was
no, that was the second event. As Galveston was the first one. We played on Thursday against Tampa Bay Damage. They smoked us in the finals. Then we played the rest of the weekend and played against you guys for the Phoenix event, and that was considered the second event.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might. I think you're right.
Dude, how in the hell
right.
Shit. You remember that?
I thought.
I remember those losses more than I do the wins. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I felt that I remembered it. That one stunk, but actually it makes sense because we lost a 2-on-1 to Sam Monville in the finals, like a huge point towards the end of that match.
Let's go, Sam.
Sammy, momentum, yeah. Sam's clutch guy on the 1-on-1s.
Dude, I love Sam.
It was a 2-on-1, dude.
Beast.
Sam, and he was in a little cake on the snake side.
Hell yeah.
In the corner. I remember in the corner.
I was like, no, what the?
You know what though? The weird situation is earlier in that event, it was for the Phoenix event. We played Vicious and Shane Colby and somebody else. Sam almost pulled out 2-on-1 off against them, and he was in that same bunker, so he would already been in that position the weekend before, the day before, or whatever. And it was just it was crazy.
It's funny how that happens, you know? You see that happen a lot. In practice, like Marshy, the same type of thing. Something happened in the practice and then boom, big moment in the tournament, you pull it out. It's all about that time.
Well, it's again, I always bring it back to, because, you know, I'm sure other athletes have said it, but Kevin Durant, it was like 2015 or 16 finals. I forgot when he went to the Golden State Warriors and they're playing LeBron and the Cavs in the finals. He hit that big 3 in one of the big games, you know, that pretty much closed it out. And after he's like, I've made that shot 1,000 times at least, you know, like that was nothing new. You have to practice and be in these different situations to pull them off in events. That's a valuable piece. I love that you shared with us that Sam kind of had that same experience the day before in a practice before, you know, and then it clicks in the tournament. That's
absolutely. And it was kind of wild for us in 2012 because, you know, Jason, nobody knew what to expect. Everybody just knew that, you know, Houston Heat was a new thing. I remember seeing Oliver and Alex like after like we announced it, and they were like, "Oh, the Heat boys are here," blah blah blah, and nobody knew who we were going to be, if we're going to get to practice anybody. And I remember the only team we got to practice before that event was Vicious. And then when they showed up to the practice that we had in Houston set up, they said when they got there, because they hadn't played all like the whole off season other than indoor, they wanted to just practice breakouts. And we're like, yeah, we want to practice everything after the breakout because we literally sat in Houston for weeks on end and just practiced. And so we were trying to figure out things like during the game and like how people were mixing and everything else. So yeah, it was kind of crazy, but we had to play you guys twice that event or that weekend, Marsh, when we had to play you guys during a prelims game and for Phoenix, and then we were down like 5-1 or 4-1, and then we came back and won, and then we had to play you guys again in the finals.
Well, fuck you.
It was,
Damn. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. I do remember. I definitely remember losing to you guys. that was a heartbreaker, man. That was a heartbreaker. What a crazy
losing.
It doesn't. What a crazy like couple of months too, because that Galveston event got just totally stormed out. Pushed off.
I was happy about that because I knew we needed more time. Like we played Vicious and somebody else, but then we had to still finish our prelim games. And I knew that like, you know, the way Tampa Bay Damage was looking, we needed more time together to practice. And that's what we got. So I was like, shit, like this could really be good for us. Even though like I wanted to play as a team, like we needed more time to play together, you know?
Yeah.
So that was actually, it kind of worked in our favor. And then we came more prepared on the same layout that we'd already been practicing for a month on. So it was like,
there we go.
We just knew what we had to do. And when we actually got to play Dynasty in that event, they had the bye going into the first event because they were so dominant from the year before. And then they got a good bracket. They got that juice bracket, and then they got the bye. Like they went undefeated, got the bye, and then they came out and played us without practicing or doing anything. We'd already played 2 prelim games, and then a match to go to play Dynasty. And so we'd already played 3 matches before they played 1, and we mercy ruled them. Which was unheard of at that time period with Dynasty, because is when Oliver was like taking command of the ship, and they were just back to dominate again. And they just picked up Mouse again, but Mouse couldn't play with him yet because he didn't start the first event with them. So they had to finish their roster what they had in Galveston compared to Phoenix. So he had to wait for it.
Right. That was when I think Mouse that off season took time off to go race in college.
Yeah.
It's funny, and paintball players consistently are trying to take him down in a race.
Yeah,
they don't realize he literally went and podiumed at a college. Which is just nuts, dude. That dude is just a phenomenal athlete.
He is truly an elite athlete. Like if he went and played another sport like football or anything else, he would still excel the way he does in paintball. And it's crazy because there's not a lot of guys that can do that, but he could truly do that, you know?
Absolutely. And he also did try to do that a couple years ago. He was playing football. He got picked up by like a Division II. Yeah.
So I think if he would have stuck with it or wanted to even put more time into it, then I think that he could have excelled in that as well.
Yeah, you know, there's still a cadence. There's still like, you got to have the mind for the game, right? It's hard, no matter how good of an athlete you are. Like if you've never played football, you can't just expect to jump in and be, you know, it's just not how it works. Putting yourself in the right position on the field, understanding defenses, stuff like that.
Or even just reading guys and like their tendencies and things like that. Yeah. So 100%.
Hey, yeah. I want to hear how you got into paintball, dude. How did you get into this amazing, crazy sport that we all play?
You know, I kind of got that typical.
Don't say birthday party, dude.
Birthday party.
Come on, man. At what point are you guys gonna give it up?
Listen, it was a birthday party for me, and then like all my friends, they'd been playing way before me, and I just played really well, and I just wasn't afraid. I guess.
How many friends did you guys have?
I probably had like 10 friends there that like all like in the 6th, 7th grade. I don't remember what 6th or 7th grade. Yeah. And my stepmom had actually been before me, so she wanted to take me before that. Like she just wanted to take me on her own. And she literally was like, "We should do it for your birthday, blah blah blah." And there was this little indoor in the small town that I grew up in, and yeah, it was crazy fun. And then I just never wanted to stop. But that's when like back in the day, like paint was $90 a case, and you could survive off a bag of 500 the whole day, and it'd be great. So what year was that, you think? 99.
Yep. So we got in right about at the same time.
Yeah.
All of us here. Yeah, it's been one hell of a ride, man. I love paintball so much. We're so damn blessed to be able to play this amazing sport. It's done so much for all of our lives and countless people around the world, of course, but it's an amazing thing we got.
I look back at the amount of travel and everything else that I've like literally like done and things like that, and I'm just like, man, I don't know like where or what I would do is I probably even ever go on a plane if I didn't play paintball. And it's like, I remember quitting football. Like I was going to be the varsity quarterback in high school, and
Let's
coach,
go.
Yeah, I had a really good arm, and
Varsity quarterback. You were snagging all the honeys, huh?
well,
you were like,
my school was real small, and they weren't real good. But
it was homeschool.
yeah, and my coach was super pissed because he's like, "No, you're not going to quit just to go shoot your little paintballs." And I was like, "Yeah, that's all I want to do." And I was only a sophomore in high school. Like we didn't even have like an actual like junior senior quarterback. And he was pretty pissed at me. And my dad's like, do whatever you want. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, whatever makes you happy. And I was like, that's what I want to do. So I literally had a job as a telemarketer when I was 15. And they actually hired me by mistake. There was 2 Chads that applied for the job.
No way.
I had the interview, and then he had the drug test. And then they realized that they hired 2 Chads, and then they told me, and then like, oh, we'll give you a shot. And then it just worked out for me. And that's how like I was able to pay for paintball, was like being a telemarketer through high school. And I didn't leave time for like after school sports because I had to go to work.
What were you selling?
Cable.
There we go.
Yeah. So,
love that. It's the hustle and grind, baby.
Yeah.
That hustle.
Yeah, it was fun because it really taught me, like when I get on the phone or even like on a microphone to people, just how to talk to them or how not to be afraid of things like that. And like at first I would be terrified. I wouldn't know what to say, and I was like, shit, like how do I get like through this?
Yeah.
And then like they literally just sat and trained me as a 15-year-old kid. And then I probably worked there for like 4 years. And then when I went to college, I got 2 jobs when I was in college. And I was a janitor. And then I was a janitor from 4 a.m. to like 7. And then went to college. And then after that was a telemarketer. So
damn, dude.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's some work ethic though.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, I didn't come from like a bunch of money, and I'm okay with that because like my parents taught me that like, you know, if I can't work for it, then I don't need it. And it was just like, it was nice to know that like I brought myself up through that, and my parents weren't like, here you go, here's everything you need, blah blah blah. And I was okay with it, and I'm okay with people who do have that because it's a great thing, because the fact that if you have it, then you're blessed. But at the same time, like I was a janitor, and like it makes me think that like I'm never too good for anything. You know what I'm saying?
I love that, man.
Absolutely. Humble human, man. That's the key to a successful life right there, is having a humble outlook and being empathetic to the world around us, because there's so much going on that we're all in our own little bubble, and sometimes it's really hard to see outside of our bubble, but there's a lot going on. And that's why we always push for advocating, just coming together, helping people, just doing whatever we can as a paintball community, as a global community. We got to really figure this out. Otherwise, it could get ugly moving into the future.
Yeah, I think there's so many different avenues that we're missing out on. Yeah. But at the same time, like I understand why some people go the routes that they do, and like what actually like kind of holds our game back. But at the same time, it's like, who's going to take that step to actually push it forward?
What do you mean? Elaborate on that a bit.
I'm saying like, well, I'll use Go Sports as an example. What was it? There was an event where they left it on Facebook on accident for 8 hours. Mm-hmm. It got, we'll just say 200,000 views. Okay. Uh-huh. We'll just say half that community was paintball and the other half was something they never saw. Mm-hmm. If we could do that, and I'm not saying like it should be free for everything, and I get it, there's a lot of cost to it and people have to be paid and things like that. But if we could get it where like, here's the biggest problem. You want me to pay for like subscription for $9.99 a month to new people, but they don't know anything about it, right? Mm-hmm. So why would you go spend your $10 and I go spend my $10 on something I don't know anything about? The only way they're going to hear about it is if they have somebody in the family with it or somebody they know, like just through whatever. But a perfect example is the way it spreads is if it's free. People are going to watch things that are free. And I get it if somebody took a bite for a year, but I'm telling you the ad money or even just like the perspective on, this is why like people's vlogs, like Ronnie's vlogs blow up, because like so many people get to see paintball plus like see what's going on with it. If there was an opportunity where, and I'm not saying Go Sports is wrong, because it is a business and they have to be paid and it does cost money. So somebody's got to come up with that money somewhere. Yeah. If there was ever an avenue to where somebody could truly let like 2 or 3 paintball events go for free, let people see it, how many views you're getting, ad money comes in, you're going to see somebody outside of the sport that's going to be like, hey, there's a lot of like if they see the analytics, there's a lot of people viewing this. Why would they not want to see it? Do you think that people want to sit and watch people play bags? But no, there's a lot of people that do, and they get a lot of views on it. And there's ad money coming in. So then the players are getting paid more. The prize money's bigger, things like that. And it's not just coming from these owners who everybody thinks that's like the devil because they only keep it at a bare minimum, but there's a lot of cost in running an event. But I feel like to get these outside sponsors or these bigger sponsors, or we'll just use Pepsi as an example, or an energy drink company. If it's has the numbers, then it works out. And that's what it comes down to is
that's it. Point blank.
Yeah. If it literally has the numbers of an event and they see it, like we'll just say that that 8 hours got 200,000 views. Say then you literally spend 3 more days and you get 800,000 views for that 1 weekend on an event. You're gonna see like ad money. You're gonna see outside sponsors want to spend money because they want 800,000 people to see their energy drink, and they're willing to pay for that because that's just how it works.
Yeah.
That's funny. We kind of had this talk pre-show about ads for the show, right?
Yeah.
It was similar idea. The numbers are so important. You're right. Yeah. I do have a question because this is something we've talked about on the show quite a few times, actually. Do you think that the average person that doesn't know paintball, the people that we're talking about that we want to capture to eventually pay for a subscription, do you think that regular prelim games would be enough, or do they need to see the finals? Do they need to see the whole event?
I think you're on the right path. I think that if they got to see the prelims, they would be invested to see who wins.
100%, dude. We've been saying it's like, let the prelims be free. Let even the first round Sunday be free. But guess what? You got to pay the premium or have the subscription to watch the semifinals and the finals.
Yeah.
You know,
if there was somebody, and I'm not saying Ghost, and I personally am a big fan of Ghost Sports because it is an avenue that truly spreads, and they do a good job. Spreading paintball.
Yeah.
It's just if we can figure out how they can still get paid to do their jobs and we can still let this be viewed to the public, that's the only way the public is going to grow. And that's how I see it's going to grow. It's just like a streamer. It's free to watch a streamer. If you're invested into it, then you're going to pay money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's why like before, like when Nickel Ball brought this up, I said, if you just advertise games on Twitch, people are going to subscribe to the Twitch channel. And then all of a sudden it was on Twitch, but they didn't advertise Twitch enough for it to know that it was there, you know? Even with any kind of like division or anything else. So it's just like, there's a lot of different things you could take about it. It's just how many people are invested to take the time to break it down. And it's like, it almost seems like there's not enough because we are a small community and the people who are doing it are doing a great job. We just need more people to be involved with it or more people to step up and be like, okay, this is what I could help do here, you know?
Yeah. A lot of them are spread very thin. You know,
Absolutely.
They're juggling so
I
many
think they all do a very good job, but I think that like exactly what you said.
It's
like,
the best it's ever been. Right now is the best it has ever been. And we're like, thank you. Because I can watch paintball from my phone. Are you kidding me? When I was a kid, I dreamt of doing that. So to be able to like have that capacity where we're so close, you know what I mean? Because paintball is entertaining. We even had, you know, some big names out at World Cup watching paintball, and it's an entertaining show that we put on, you know? It's a fun
I think also something that people don't really look at is, like you said, it's entertainment, but a lot of teams, and I try to do this, I did this with the one-on-ones really well. You got to give people a reason to care or a reason why, like McGregor, and I use him as an example all the time. He gives you a reason. He makes you invested into wanting to watch him actually fight because you want to see him either win because you like him or lose because he's a cocky motherfucker who just ran his mouth and you want to see that guy lose and justice get to him in your own mindset. But there's so many people who are soft to shit to be like, you know what? Like, you know, they're a nice team. And I'm okay with how New York Extreme, like they run their mouths a lot. Yeah, they haven't won shit. They know that, but they know they're taking a niche of being entertaining. Does it go too far? It does take themselves out of the element of winning, but I don't care because I'm against them right now. But if I was ever their coach or anybody to step outside the box and be like, hey, stop with the bullshit and focus on winning in the game and then talk shit. But it just kind of goes hand in hand. And, you know, I just think there needs to be more drama into it, but it has to be the right drama, you know? It can't be a lot of negativity and things like that, but it's got to give people a reason to care, a reason why, like, okay, like, is somebody going to be able to take down Dynasty after they just pulled off the World Cup and this and that, you know? But, like, even farther than that.
100%.
Shout out to New York Extreme one time, the hype show, man. They always get it cracking.
They do, but I do agree with you. Yeah. I mean, Harris actually flew out here a couple weeks ago, and
I was there.
You were there too. You guys all flew out. We had a fun day. But like I was telling him that day, you know, exactly how I felt about that. Like, hey, it's time for you guys to just shut up and put up. You know, like it's been too many years of you talking shit, which I personally love. I'm an NYX fan. But at some point, the game has to match. Otherwise, you lose all of that momentum from the hype.
I want to see them channel it in a way. Because
right.
what if they could use all that energy, because they got a lot of hype energy and a lot of good energy, passion for the sport. If they could channel that, and it even makes you even more powerful when you kind of keep it to yourself and you hold it in and use it on the field. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, even when you say channel it, if they just took that shit talk or aggression towards the other team and built each other up with it, because if you watch them, they can talk all the shit they want on the field and they're so caught into that. And then they come back and they start yelling at each other, but they don't know what they did right and wrong because they're so caught in the show of like talking the shit or being the man or I'm the man type of shit. Build the guy up next to you, go out and do it again. And then a lot of times, like you said, it speaks for itself when you go out there and you dominate somebody. You don't need to like let everybody know you're the man. We get it. But if you're going to be the man and talk the shit, then you have to like just build it up around it. A lot of people don't understand like the in-betweens of that. And I don't expect them to, because I mean, it's a different legacy, and it's like some people have it, some people don't, you know?
Dude, teamwork is everything. And you've played for a lot of obviously top tier teams throughout your career. I want to dip back.
Just one.
But even the legacy of Chicago Aftershock, that team holds clout in the history of paintball. You were there through a lot of that. We're going to dig back into your roots and everything, but just some advice on teamwork for the listeners, because of all the teams, you know, that you've helped and been a part of, and how important that is.
You know, the biggest thing is be willing to accept anybody's criticism, because they're seeing something that you aren't seeing when you're playing. And if you're open to criticism, that it will make you a better player. A lot of people, they get so like, especially like from back in the day and things like that, they're so caught up in feel like they're being attacked and things like that. They're not open to being like, oh, this guy, he really wants the best for me, that's why he's telling me this, blah, blah. Or like, I've even seen it, and I'll just use Mutiny as an example. There's that kid Pinky who's playing for Aftermath now. I watched him just badger the shit out of him. It did make him better because he became a grown-ass man about it, and he's playing really well when I watch him at practice. But if you build somebody up in the right way and that guy's willing to accept it, he was willing to accept it because he looks up to those guys, and which is good, because, you know, that's what you want. But at the same time, if somebody isn't willing to accept criticism, or they're not like open-minded about knowing their weakness. A lot of people, when they practice, they're always practicing to win. And that's not always the correct thing. When you're losing, you're learning. So they're not going to practice to learn something. They're just going there to win and show off. And that's not always the greatest thing. You're there to learn, and they don't understand. Like, that's why people practice so much, because you learn so much, but they're not doing that in paintball. And that's why it's hard sometimes, because they want to show off their, like, everything they're doing, or they're the hot shit or whatever. And I'm not saying every team does it, but it happens a lot of times more than like it doesn't happen, you know?
Totally. Yeah. When we're practicing, if we're winning a bunch, I'm like, this is bad.
Because it puts you into bad habits of knowing that, like, and I get it. If you're dominating, you're playing well and everybody's clicking, it gets you in the right mindset. But you need to figure out if something does go wrong, because there's so many variables in paintball of winning that, like, if the paint goes bad, or this guy's getting shot constantly off the break at practice, but then we're not losing him here in the event, or this guy's not dying at practice, but we're losing him in the event. And you got to figure that shit out. That's why when people go to cheat and shit like that at practice, it's not helpful. But that's also why you see only top tier teams play certain teams, because it's not worth them trying to like figure out things when they have a team they're just sitting and cheating with the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
So.
We've been playing paintball for a long time, so we've definitely seen our fair share throughout the years, which is, you know, and in any sport, right? Pro football, they're grabbing and pinching each other and doing everything they can to win these games. So it's the grit and grind of the game for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we do not condone cheating. Do not wipe out there. You know, unless
especially in practice though. I mean, you're so right. Again, the practices where you get beat up are really frustrating, and often aren't taken well in the present moment. But every time we have those kind of practices, later that night, I look back and I say that was the best practice we could have had. You learn so much. You just your weaknesses are exposed. And without those, if you are, I like how you put it, Chad, if you're trying to win, you're just there to show off. If you're losing, you're learning.
Yeah.
And actually I said that wrong. Obviously you want to try to win, but if you're only there to win, you're just trying to show off, you know. That's not the move. You know, you want to be there to learn. In practice, you want to get exposed on all parts of the field, you know, so that way you can address the situation and make a better game plan.
I like it when they cheat, dude, because then I get to shoot them a couple times, you know. I get multiple reps on it. It's actually nice.
This is something also is like, and this is hard for a lot of teams, is to get good paint for practice, because when you actually get like a higher grade paint, when you're playing with good paint, you learn a lot because you're figuring out if you're shooting a guy at the break. But a lot of times you have to look at it as if you're bouncing people and things like that. It's okay, because at the event, it's going to be different. You just have to know. That's why, like, a lot of times when I play teams, I let them know if they bounce me or not, because like I was that guy always fighting for a spot, you know, always trying to like literally like, okay, I have to play good or I'm not going to get to play the event type of shit. And I get it. Like, I get when like you have these younger teams or these younger guys on these teams and they're fighting for playtime and literally they're just cheating their balls off and it's not helping anybody like at all.
Shout out to HK Army one time for the best paint in the world. We don't miss off the break.
Boy.
Our paint is premium. We are dialed in, and we cannot thank you guys enough for everything.
That was a shameless ad. You guys at HK better make sure you send us the best paint in the world.
Yeah, and you can also get if you sign up for our Patreon, you also get a discount on HK Army products. So log in.
Oh, there you go, right there.
There we go, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you know, the thing is too, though, Yaya and Ty, is guess what? The reality is, no matter how good the damn paint is, sometimes you bounce people at the event too.
Yeah.
Absolutely, especially if they don't understand how to take care of it correctly.
Yeah.
Dude, we go into this deep with some of the people on here because it's a whole science, right?
Paint is 50% of the battle. If you could have, like, I remember this is where I live
at the top level. It is.
Yes.
At the top level. Yeah.
In 2010, Aftershock, we played in the finals against the Russians. There was 2 pro teams that had the new GI paint. There was a small box truck that was only like, and actually a divisional team got to shoot it. It's right when they came on the scene. They made 600 cases, and it literally, the Russian Legion was shooting it and Chicago Aftershock was shooting it. And those 2 teams were in the finals. I don't even think Aftershock had any business being in there, but with, shout out Tim Montresor and some of those guys that led on the team, it was literally like their leadership, and then the paint was so phenomenal that it was just like, we couldn't miss people at the break, and it helped out.
I was actually wearing my Godspeed 40 shirt today. Shout out to Tim.
Yeah, I just folded that up earlier, and I was like,
yeah, that's my man. That's our man. That's the people's man. We're so blessed to have had him in paintball, and he's forever with us, man. Always.
Yeah, that's Mr. Paintball right there. That's the man with the plan.
Big peace sign. Let's go.
There it
Big
is.
peace sign.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Tim, man. God, so many kids don't realize how much Tim did for paintball. We've talked about this on the show as well, but that man did so much on the back end that people just never realized, because he never was looking for the fame from it. You know, he just was constantly putting stuff together for the sport.
Yeah. I actually got he in 2010, he actually brought me out to Pittsburgh, and I ended up meeting a girl out there, moving out there. And I lived out there for about 1.5 years. And the conversations that man had with me and about building a team, and like, he helped me on the back end, like so many different things of like, learning about, like, if everybody believes in the same system, if everybody believes in the coach, then it will work out. He's like, it's your job to make sure that everybody believes in what Trojan says. It's your job to make sure that everybody wants to work harder, or everybody has everything. Because, when he ran Philly, it was fine. And he was still on Impact at the time. And, it was just like the things that he taught me and the things that he would say to me. And the thing is I would talk to him 2-3 times a week, every week, even when he wasn't on my team. And it was just like, to have him on my team, like, it was amazing to even not have him on my team, how much we would talk about paintball. It was just like, shit. Yeah. It was just insane, the knowledge that he would give me and keep me level-headed. And I remember even after Vegas last year, I was shitty because I didn't play on Sunday, and then we lost, and we shouldn't have lost. And I was like, I felt like I could have helped the team. And he was like, stop being a little bitch and realize that you got to go work harder, He's like, it's on you to be like, hey, you know what? I have to go do things to make sure that the coach doesn't have that problem where he's like, hey, like, I need to put this guy out here. I can't not win if I don't have this guy out here. And he'd call me on my bullshit. And it was nice because a lot of like friends, they'll either conduct, like they'll literally coddle you and things like that. And I think too many people get coddled where they think they're always right. And he wasn't a guy that was going to coddle me on it. He would approach it the best way, but a lot of times he would just give it to me straight and tell me to stop being a little bitch about it and get back out there and work harder. So,
yeah, it's a rare thing when you find a friend who can tell you that kind of stuff, and someone that you can trust receiving that kind of information from as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's a special thing. And dude, Lord knows that man is with us all on that paintball field. He's still running and gunning with us every step of the way.
I'll tell you, I was down 8-0 in the, I don't know if you guys saw the Ultimate Shootout finals, but I was down 8-0. I went to that box and I was like, Tim, I need you right here, buddy. And literally, I just didn't lose another gunfight to Fred Berkeley.
Dude, I just got the chills.
Well, I'm not even kidding you. Like, Cena's got it on tape. He had a GoPro. He's like, oh, you're not losing another gunfight, are you? And I was like, nope. And I did lose another gunfight to the guy. And I was like, here we go.
There we go.
I told him, I was like, literally, I just told Tim, I was like, hey, I need you right now more than ever. And it worked out for me.
Dude, can you explain how this is all working? So they do 3 of these things, and then the winners from the 3 battle each other. I'm lost.
Oh, with the Ultimate Shootout?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's give Pro Tour a little shine here. So Pro Tour,
Pro Tour.
Obviously, you being the champ with it.
Yeah.
It's all the same bunkers, and it's a lot of gunfighting. The guns are slower.
Oh, I know about what Ultimate Shootout is. Just what is this finale thing? You win 10 grand, but it's like the top 3 dudes from each thing or whatever.
Okay, so you play a season, and the top 2 from that season. If you win, you're done with that season. If you lose, and there's still another season left, then you get put into the next season. So we went for seasons 3 and 4. I got knocked out by Cody Mikowski, so I went on to season 4. So I had to wait like that same day or whatever to play. Cody was out, another guy comes in. Then you play, 16 guys, I think it is, all the way until the finals again for season 4. The top 2 from season 3 and the top 2 from season 4. Luckily enough, it hasn't been the same guys. It's been a different guy every time to win and to go on in the finals. So the top 2 from each one go on to the finale. The finale hasn't been played yet. They have 8 seasons. They've only done 4 so far. So they still have to play 4 more seasons and then figure out the finale. That's why with seasons 5 and 6 was going to get played, it would have been almost 3/4 of the way done. But it hasn't been played yet. So they're still waiting on that. And then the finale, I believe, is going to be back at Paintball Fit. I don't know the date. I haven't figured out the date yet, but they have to figure that out and then goes from there. But yeah, I think it's like 7,000 for the first prize, and then second is 3,000. So that's where the 10,000 comes from.
What do you think
that's awesome.
I watched your final, so I think I can assume what you thought the best strategy was, which was winning gunfights. That's what ended up doing it. But do you value the kill streaks more or the buzzer?
So it depends where you're at. And I mean, it can go both ways, to be honest with you, because of this.
You got to play the game, baby.
I was on my 5th match that day. And Tyler, I've watched you play people in these one-on-ones. The way you control yourself, and which makes you a great one-on-one player, you don't have to get all sporadic because you believe in your shot. You believe in your gunfight. You're going to let that guy wear himself out, and then you're going to go from there. I knew that Fred before that had literally gone the limit with the kid he was playing before that. And so I was like, okay, he literally, like, I could just see in his face, like, he was tired as shit. And I kept asking him, like, when I went back to the thing, I'm like, you tired yet? Because I was like, I'm not. And I'm telling him this, but I could barely feel my fucking legs. I'm on my 5th match of the day. Like, some people, like, at Pro Tour, like, we all saw how Keith did, and it got tiring. Try doing that 5 times in one day with more running and hitting a buzzer. And I was like, okay. And, like, that's why it's nice to have, like, I had Ryan Brand as my coach, and he just kept me under control and was just, he would give me every piece of information I needed to know, like, I was going to be okay if I gun fought the kid every time. He's like, literally, you're shooting him off the break almost every single time. And then he's like, then just gunfight him. Don't wear yourself out. And he wore himself out. And I knew it when I went back, like, literally went back to, like, it wasn't even his mindset was bad because he's got a strong mindset, but I knew that he was tired. And I also knew that, like, even before that, I got in trouble for bonus balling people and, like, screaming at them. So they asked me to, like, cool it down. But, like, that's what I do to get in people's heads.
Yeah, but, of course. That's the game right there.
Yes. And with Fred, I knew he's comes from the same cloth or whatever. He's come from the same cloth. He likes that shit. Like, that's what feeds him. So I was like, I'm not going to bonus ball. I was like, I'm not going to say anything to him. I'm just going to look at him, and that's going to get in his own head. And I just literally kept telling myself, like, just pumping myself up. And I just didn't. I didn't have to move from the back center a lot because I knew I could gunfight the kid because that's just what I was taught. So I was like, all right.
So you're one of the our Patreon followers actually had a question for you about your training regiment going into the Ultimate Shootout and the Pro Tour, if there was any differentiation from the Pro Tour to the Ultimate Shootout. And you, honestly, dog, we all saw what happened at the Pro Tour. That could have been anyone's game. And I still, I mean,
I have no excuses, to be honest. I mean, Patrick Caff, hats off to him. He came back and beat me. Would I liked a few things have been differently? Absolutely. But at the same time, like, it is what it is. I'm not going to take it.
Yeah, it's paintball.
Exactly. And so, I got beat there, but what it did is it gave me a different mindset of never let off the gas. You know, keep it always in your mind. Like I let a referee get in my head in Pro Tour because he pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let that happen here. So I was like, all right, you know, I'm going to do what I have to do here, and I'm going to make sure I handle business. And that I was just amped to be there. And my preparation for it was all Ronnie Dizon. I drive 2 hours to him up north and to a field called Blast Camp, which there's a semi-pro team there. And the owner's son, Jackson Fry, would come out. Yeah, he would come out and he'd beat the shit out of me. But I needed to play people that were taller than me because everybody in my bracket was bigger. Mm-hmm. So me playing Ronnie, he could watch me, he was quick, so I could play him. And Ronnie would have different guys out there for me to play all the time, and it worked out real well.
A lot of great people in your corner there, man. That's a great little camp that you had there going on.
Yeah, and that was the thing is like all I can do is really thank that camp because the fact that like Ronnie's preparation and his honesty with me was like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, and like literally like lay it out for me, like, okay, this is your strength, this is your weakness. If we're gonna play your strength here, this is what we're gonna do it, and if you're gonna do this, you can't get worn out. And then at the same time, I was doing run cities, and I could run outside every day, so that was
let's
really
go,
helpful.
Marky.
Yeah, shout out Mark Cresson. And it really, honestly, like my cardio, I was feeling super good because of the fact like I knew how hard I'd push myself every single time, and like I got up to like 6-7 miles a day, and it was like it's not the same when you're playing paintball, but at the same time, if you can control your mindset, then it works out for you.
Yes, that's everything, dude. It's all mindset. I mean, of course, we got to have the machine has to be tuned up and properly running and ready to do what it has to do, but. And then it's just all mindset. You just have to push past that guy and be, just be better. That's all it comes down to.
And I think a lot of times people, they don't understand like the gunfighting and professional paintball who are truly elite. That's what makes you different. Mishka, Fedorov, those guys are truly elite gunfighters. Marcelo is one of them. He sat there. I've seen him so many times by himself, like at the field working on a shot. It's truly elite when you see these guys gunfight. Like there's people that like Archie, he's truly elite. Tyler, you're truly elite. Guys that know that their gunfighting skills or they've done the work. And a lot of people say it's 10,000 hours that you got to put into it. People who do that and they know their gunfighting skills. That's why Ronnie's so good. When they gunfight the way they do, it's different. And with Ronnie gunfighting me and the way Mishka and Fedorov have done things like that with me or whatever, it's just different. Yeah. And I embrace it now because I used to get my ass kicked all over the place. I'd be thrown up on my gun where I couldn't feel my legs, and it sucked. But if you could do that and you can make it through that, then why not?
Dude, you've had a great story. I want to talk about like your rookie season. What did that look like when you got into paintball?
Dude,
what kind of gun? What kind of gun were you shooting?
I think Yaya was shooting a Tipman all the way through the Chicago Aftershock days.
No. So honestly, like the best thing that happened was Greg Pauly called me. He saw me practicing. Tally and I, shout out Tally.
Yeah, Tally.
We would meet up on I-80, drive to the field, John Rathburn's field, at night, and Danny Benitez would let us sleep at the field. We'd sleep in John Rathburn's office. And we would practice through the night, like when the building, like when the office hours weren't there or whatever. And we'd sleep in the office, wake up, get breakfast, play, and then go back to it. And then we'd be freezing at this field. And, Drew Templeton, he'd be there a lot of times. And it was just like Greg Pauly noticed me, had me play on Vicious for a little bit. Then Psalm was like, hey, like he kind of noticed me. And then Nick Matthews was the one who truly was like, hey man, I think I can get you on Aftershock. You just got to keep working with us and keep coming to practice and things like that. And
how long did that take to get to that moment from when you got into paintball, took it serious, and then getting into that time frame?
I mean, you're talking, I started playing competitive paintball at 13 years old. And then I truly knew that like I wanted to go beyond another level at 15 years old. That's why I got a job with
shout out to the dog. Congratulations, by the way. You're getting married,
Yeah,
so.
we've actually been engaged for 2 years. And,
beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, man. You guys, I can't wait to see this beautiful baby. I know you guys are having one of those soon.
Yeah. We'll have babies soon enough. So she's ready for it, let me tell you. No, but Nick Matthews found me, and I mean, when I decided I wanted to play professional paintball, I was literally sitting in school one day and I was like, man, that's all I want to do, so I can think about. And
me too.
I just did everything in my power. Like I said, I got a job as a janitor. I got a job just as a telemarketer. And I was like, it just never was an option for me not to like make enough money to play paintball. Like everything I did, like I mean, I lost girlfriends, missed a lot of family time, and that was okay to me because I was like, now it paid off. But there's a lot of people who can't do things like that, and I get it, it's a sacrifice, but it's how hard you want to dream for that, and it's how hard you push for it. You put yourself in positions that's like shit, and it was like I remember at one point there was 10 of us sleeping in a 1-bedroom apartment just to go and try to play paintball the next day because that's all we could do and that's all we could afford. So I was like, it was sweet, you know.
Dude, you said something really, really important there that I just want to highlight on, talking about putting yourself in position to capitalize. Shit's not going to happen for you. You got to create that. You got to show up. You got to drive. You got to do the work. You got to do whatever it takes to get that opportunity to shine and then capitalize on that opportunity. But
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people think that the pro team's going to show up at their local field and swoop them up and like go take them on a world tour. That's just not how it works.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, the biggest thing I could actually tell people is like you just said, putting yourself in that position. People that attend these clinics and things like that. Like we've had 2 guys now that have attended clinics for us and for me and Ronnie, and now one plays on AC Dallas, and literally it's just like, if you put yourself in a position to be seen, then you'll be seen. If it's meant to happen or you continue to go and you're always at the field and things like that, you're going to see that support or you're going to see something come about from it. But if you're like just a weekend warrior, like, oh, I'll just be there on Sunday and, you know, we'll just play paintball and hang out and you're not really play that well. And then you're like, you know, it's not that fun to you, but you're not really sure. Then it's probably not going to happen for you. And that's fine. It doesn't happen for everybody. But at the same time, if you put yourself in a position where you're always there, you're always grinding, or you have something that like truly drives you like that, then go for it. Like, don't hold back from it. Give everything you can to it and go from there. And then I truly believe it works out the way it's supposed to if you do things like that.
I love that there's, you know, in this 2021 landscape with everything that happened in 2020, we have so many more pros that are approachable and actually lending a hand to help, which is great. Obviously, you know, we all know here we do training programs, and there's a lot going on for the community, which is a beautiful thing. As we move forward, we need that more than ever to nurture the grassroots of the game and get them. We're going to get old. I'm saying we can't do this forever, so we got to make sure that people can carry this on in the right way, and we'll all be there coaching and doing everything we can, but we got to make sure it goes on the right path.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I actually want to talk about that because you guys just launched something pretty cool. I've seen a few things with PB Pro School. What's that all about?
So PB Pro School, this is the biggest thing. So this is why Ryan Greenspan and Marcelo are different than everybody. They don't need what we have as PB Pro School because they are so good at interacting and going out and having the resume and having like exactly.
You're the Leopard King, bro. Are you kidding me? We're talking to the Leopard King.
I mean,
You're running it.
It didn't happen overnight, but at the same time, like Ryan and Marcelo were the blueprint of going out. They do clinics. They teach people how to become better at paintball, right? But there's only 2 guys doing it. And it was like nobody knew how to approach anybody else. Nobody knew how to get a hold of anybody else. So if there's an avenue or literally a pathway for somebody to go to a website and say, hey, how can I do this? Or what do I need to do? Or how do I find out pricing? How do I get a hold of this guy? And like, I mean, I'll just use Alex Rodriguez as a perfect example. And I mean, you guys have had him as a teammate and things like that. I watch and I study Alex Rodriguez, and I see this kid literally go to a team that doesn't have, I'm not going to think of a team that can win an event, but he can go and become an MVP in an event and win an event, right? But they don't know what he's thinking because he's not that active on social media. Or Keith Brown, and Keith's getting actually better about it and things like that. But me and Ronnie, even with you guys, Tyler, Marcelo, Ryan, all very active, and we're in that top 5%, but they don't have avenues other than just to reach us 5 because they're not that socially active. So this is basically what it does is it creates something where people can go to a website, almost like an agency. They can go to it and they can find a pro that they want to hire, and they can try to book them, or they can find out who's in their area. Or if there's somebody that they have enough money for to fly out, then perfect. If they don't and they need somebody local and we have somebody in that area local, then it works out for them. But a lot of times people, like even the players, don't know how to negotiate what they really want. They're almost afraid to ask, like, what am I really worth? You know, what's like the going rate, or like, can I do this itself? But if you have somebody booking it for you, negotiating it and figuring it out for you, then it works out. And we're just giving people an avenue where it's not like, and a lot of people think that's like a competition with BKI. BKI is a great program for kids to learn from, This is to hire pros or other coaches to come out to your programs or to your team or to individual players and work with them if they want to hire them. It just gives them an avenue to hire somebody to bring them on. And really, you know, like there was just a disconnection I felt between like 95% of the pros that didn't have it. And I felt like it just helps create, like, how many guys do you know that are going to go hire Brandon Cornell? The kid's a phenomenal paintball player. He's a great guy to talk to, but not enough people know him. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's not real sociable, and it's like, the biggest thing is also is like, because even Ryan, like, he said something to me or whatever. And I was like, it's not in any kind of competition by any means with BKI. Because what BKI does is provides a great platform for kids to learn. This is, if they want to learn from a pro or they don't know how to get a hold of a pro, then there's somebody to negotiate and deal with everything right there for them. So
yeah, it's definitely a little bit different of a space. You're talking about like in-person clinics, and BKI is geared more around the online training. Of course, we do have our camps and combines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've thought that idea would be a great idea for a long time, to have an agency to represent some of the, like you said, this is something that I've been doing for a long time. You know, Ryan has obviously done for a long time teaching, and one of the main questions that players coming up through the ranks ask me is about clinics, you know, because they know that that's an avenue they can make money from, and professional paintball, as we all know, doesn't pay great. So if you want to pursue a professional paintball career, you do need to do the extra work. And you know, you're right. They don't know how to negotiate. They don't know what they're worth. They don't know, like, oh, can I charge this much to go to this field? And so it's a good idea. It's definitely something that I've thought about, and something that I think is a cool space for the game. It's kind of a step closer to, you know, legitimization in a sense.
That's exactly, that's exactly how I feel too, because it really, you know, it just puts it on, like, it could give us another level. Like, okay, if I want to talk to these certain pros, this is how I talk to them. And the thing is like, yeah, we have only a certain amount of pros, but I want it to be one day where if you want to learn from these guys, then, you know, this is where you go to, like, hire these guys or bring them on. Just like with anybody who is like an actor or singer or anything else, it literally gives them an avenue to go to and be like, hey, I want this guy to come teach me. This is how I get him, without having any kind of like being scared of it. Or a lot of people are scared to approach pros, and it's crazy to think about, but we're approachable people. Just people just don't know that, you know, they don't know what to say to them or how to, like, not be fanboys and things like that. But this just kind of takes out that barrier and, like, allows people to be like, okay, I want to hire this right here and go from there.
Beautiful. Is this your brainchild? Who created this?
You know, me, Ronnie Dizon, and Ryan Brand are the three guys, I could say, the originators of it. And we spent a lot of time on the phone together. And I'm a big fan of Ryan Brand. I think that's
he's the man.
We
had him on the show.
One of the smartest guys I've ever met in paintball. And he looks at it from a lot of different views. He's a great friend. He gives me a lot of good advice. And
we had him on the show and had a great time with Ryan. He's the man.
Yeah, he you know, he stopped playing a long time ago on real life shit, and then, you know, came back to coach like a lot of his best friends. And I think he's done a phenomenal job of, and I've seen the work that he's done with X Factor, just in the off season, things like that, and the moves that he makes and why he does it. And it's just like, it's great, you know. I mean, it truly, it's an inspiration. I mean, it shows you exactly what you want. He loves paintball, where he's like, that's the guy you want to be helping lead your team. And I think Alex does a good job by having that guy do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that BKI film that was on Amazon, that was pretty amazing too.
Yeah, the BKI, yeah.
Shout out to Dan Napoli.
Yeah,
for that.
They got a lot of awards for that, I believe.
Yeah, they crushed it with that paintball. I'm not sure if it made it to Netflix, but it did really well.
I believe it was the number one. Oh, I don't think it made it to Netflix. I think it was on Amazon, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. So,
yeah, Amazon. Which
is great, because that's the biggest thing. And, you know, Dave Bain said to me a while ago when we had the Orange County Chopper thing is, you know, we didn't do the paintball bike because, you know, it was a paintball bike or anything else. But what they did on TV is they said paintball multiple times. And it gave people a different avenue to see different things. And it got people outside of the sport to think about it. Yeah. Was it like with fancy, like production and everything else with TV? Yeah, it was awesome. But at the same time, they said paintball. And I mean, as much as I want it to happen in our time, I think the biggest thing we can do to help it grow is just keep supporting it. And like a lot of people will hate on things, or you got these people, the keyboard warriors, who just sit behind and they judge things and everything else. But if they're not doing anything at all, they're the ones who are going to be left behind. So
yeah, I needed some splats on that damn bike. I just wanted one splat, dude.
Just to understand it as a paintball bike. Yeah, I understood. I still talk to the fabricator now for the bike, and I understand his thoughts behind it and everything else. And it wasn't just about with the like just paintball in general, but like just how they like took it as an aggressive bike and things like that. Like, because I mean that's not their world, you know. Their world is motorcycles, so it's like how they view things and how they see things and how we think is different.
I wanted so badly to just shoot it and put a splat on it, dude.
It's there. A lot of people, because it said it was powered by Houston Heat, wanted it to be red or blue or whatever it may be. But
yeah,
I mean, we didn't care. We were just happy that day it was on TV, and like
that was rad. Yeah.
And Randy was really excited about that. Like, literally just got showcased to say that, you know, we're part of something. We got to be on TV with it. So
that's timeless, dude. That's forever.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Randy's the man. You guys got a great organization there. Speaking of that, you know, you guys picked up a new coach, huh? So you guys got cash money.
We have cash money. We knew that. I'll say this. You know, when we lost Jason Chosen, and I still say, and that was never my decision, but I still say that was one of the biggest mistakes Houston Heat's ever made, is losing Jason Chosen. That man right there as a coach pushed me, made me a better person, better player. He made me work harder, and he'd give it to me straight. He never bullshitted me. He was just like, hey, you want to play more? You got to work harder. And it's like, you know, his job is based off of winning, and he put the right people in at the right time, and we dominated with that, you know? It didn't work out.
He's cut from an upper echelon cloth in the pro industry as well. He's played top level pro ball as well. So he knows what's up.
And I try to explain that to people, and, you know, he is the commissioner of the NXL now, but at the same time, it's like, he does things for the greater good. A lot of people don't see that. A lot of people don't agree with that. And, you know, he doesn't coach Houston Heat anymore, but for a while there, we went on hiatus, and, you know, we had Sam Monville, Ryan Smith, and then Randy. And I won't like judge it. And I will be very, very thankful that we did win 2 World Cups with it, but you're talking about a lot of talent on Houston Heat. So it's putting the right pieces in the right spots, right? So people who literally have a good team, you should be able to get there. And it's hard to win a tournament, like I said before, but there was nobody pushing us or even making us be accountable for things at practice to push us to be better since Chosen. Sam and Ryan, and I mean, even Sarge, they managed things well, but it was like, was there a guy that's be like, okay, you shot 4 guys, why didn't you shoot 5? You know, why did you do this? Why did you not do that? There was nobody ever question anything. And it was like, okay. But with Todd, he kind of brings a lot of inspiration to the team. And, you know, when the decision was made to bring a coach on, you know, things weren't working out with him in the Ironman. He wasn't with them for a little bit. And then, you know, we made that decision to really bring somebody on who is going to make everybody better. And, you know, who's going to really, truly make you want to sit there and be like, hey, I want to hand this guy a trophy. This guy wants me to win a trophy. I want to hand him a trophy as well. And I feel like that vibe's already there with Todd Martinez. That vibe is like, you know, we've all known Todd for a long time, and, you know, he's a great ambassador to paintball. So him bringing what he has to Houston Heat truly makes us not get fucking mercy ruled at World Cup. You know, he's not going to let us get mercy ruled because he didn't do his job correctly. And I'm not saying nobody did their job correctly, but I think if we would have had a guy like that at World Cup, I don't see us getting mercied or beat by a team like Revo, you know. And it's nothing against them. They just literally beat us on things that we just kept doing because we didn't have the right coach at the right time.
Dude, Revo's been playing some good ball the last
year. I'll give it to them. They definitely, they're there, and they're saying they want it, and I won't take anything away from them. And they made a good move. They picked up Frank Anamaso.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of respect for that guy. I think he did a good job on Aftermath. He did a good job when he was on the Bears. I remember Magic Mike from the Bears talking all the time about him. He's going to be a star. I think that he just needs to be put in the right position. And I think he's done a great job on these teams. I don't want to call them low-end teams, but teams that don't have huge budgets. And he does what he can, and he's right there. So, I mean, my hat goes off to him. I mean, you got Omara, who's a stud. Henry's done a lot to change his life to become a professional paintball player, and I think he's done a good job with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they played great, and they mercy ruled the fuck out of us, and it sucked, and it literally opened our eyes, because the last time we lost like that, we cut 4 dudes and added 4 Russians. So I mean, it worked out, right? So we were
holy shit.
We don't take too kindly to losing like that, and you know, when Randy Smith does something, he's 100% about it. So if he believes in Todd 100%, you know, I believe in Todd 100%. I think a lot of guys are super excited about having Todd there.
Dude, that's my spirit animal. I have a whole aspect of me is Cash Money Tard Martinez. Just growing up watching him, his style, his flair, everything about that guy is just like he's got the zest for life, you know?
Yeah. And you know, it's somebody who I think that will truly hold us accountable, along with, you know, chew our ass if we're not doing something right, or
Exactly.
guys are just going to be respecting the guy and believe in the same bubble of what Todd says.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that we had a lot of problems with, is just guys not respecting the guy next to him or respecting what the coach was going to say. And it was nothing against anybody with Sam, Ryan, and even Randy. Does a great job of managing people, but his paintball IQ wasn't there to that caliber. And you know, I mean, he came out and he said it. He said, "Hey, what can I do to make this team better? Do I need to step away from this? And you know, what do we need to do?" And he's all about trying to make sure that everybody is given every tool to win the game. And so we decided we needed a coach, and so we left it from there. So I was like, all right, fine.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's the best
Todd's
advice you've ever gotten from a coach, like throughout your career? What would you, and who was it?
I mean, Jeremy Solomon has been my coach, and a lot of people think he's crazy because he yells a lot, but you know, he did a lot of things, and he still gives me great advice now. Because I mean, Jeremy's one of my best friends. He's given me great advice day in and day out. Jason Trozen's done literally an amazing job with just making me work harder. I'd say, I mean, just Jason. I remember even after our first win, he told me, it was good you guys took second place in the first event, because you know, you guys wouldn't have wanted it this much in the second one. And you know, he just always made sure that, like, hey, just always be thinking about like what you can do to be better as a paintball player. Always be thinking like, hey, why didn't I go shoot 5 guys here? Yeah, it might look sweet if you go shoot 3 guys and then, you know, it gets cleaned up, but why didn't you shoot all 5 guys? That's like what I've kind of been notorious for, shooting 5 guys on a run through sometimes. That's my answer. That's my only answer. If I didn't shoot all 5 guys, then I did something wrong or something like that, you know? So It's just like, he just always pushed me. So I would say Jason just always pushing me and always wanting the best out of me. Ryan Brand actually gave me some good advice when I was playing Fred Berkeley, and just keep my head on a swivel right there. So X Factor is very, very lucky to have a guy like Ryan Brand. I'll say that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's been in the trenches of paintball, like throughout everything. And to have a guy like that in your corner is going to pay dividends when it comes to crunch time Sunday.
Absolutely. So
yeah, one of the biggest things I think that Ryan has done so well, and you kind of touch on that, is it's something that Tim taught you, is the whole team believes in him, right? And so when you have that, the whole team buys into the same situation, and that situation doesn't always have to be the right thing. It's just important that everybody buys in and is on the same page. You have a lot more success that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 100%. I think Todd's a huge pickup for you guys. I think he's one of one of my favorite coaches. You know, he coached me on Infamous back in 2010 and 11. And I mean, I just loved the guy. He brings a lot to a team. So.
And I just think that everybody is, the vibes that he puts around everybody it's all one unit. You know, a lot of people think that, like, you know, if it's a negative thing and they're not believing in the guy next to him or the guy that's leading them, it's like shit. But Todd's that guy. He's the guy that makes you lead that. And it's nice to know, like, I'm excited for the 2021 season, because it's like, literally, like, we have a guy that we're going out there, and it's not like we didn't do it before, but we have a guy that literally, the paintball knowledge that he brings and the vibes that he brings, guys are excited for. You know, they're really, and I'm not saying we're excited for, but it puts another notch into us to be like, hey, like, this guy's out here for us. He's about us. Let's be about him. You know.
You got to buy in, dude. That's it. The whole organization has to be on point. I mean, at World Cup, that's how we won. Everybody bought in and they believed. And when you can see it in everyone's eyes too, it's not hard to realize when it's happening too. Me and Marcella talked about this, even in the training process and everything. You can just see when, you know, good things are going to happen or they're not on the eyes and the buying in and the organization and how it's running.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, what are some hobbies and type of stuff that you do outside of paintball, or is your life just completely consumed?
No, you know, I do a lot of stuff. Just, I mean, I have a good amount of friends here. I live in the Midwest, so I obviously I grew up around here.
Yeah.
But a lot of my week consists of, you know, going to the paintball field, like when it's nice out. But outside of that, you know, I do a lot of gaming. I like to watch a lot of documentaries on, like, a lot of, like, sports, because like even with like the Michael Jordan documentary, if you don't have those kind of mindsets and you're not watching things to like pull the best out of yourself, or even just to know that like, hey, you can do great things, or you can be surrounded by great people.
Yeah.
Put yourself in that position, then it's like you're not going to succeed. But I'm not saying that's just the only solution there. But at the same time, it's like that's the stuff that like you feed off of. And I think a lot of people don't understand, like they have a lot of distractions, things like that. Like I put my mindset to be like, okay, like every day, like do something like motivational, do something inspirational, aspire to inspire. And it's like, it's different things like that. So, I mean, I watch a lot of stuff like that. And I mean,
That's crucial, man. That's crucial.
And I got into a lot into the run cities, and I like it because a lot of people started messaging me and be like, hey, I like that you're running. You inspired me to run. And that made me feel good because I hated every fucking second of it. Like, it was Marky's over here running circles around me, and I'm like, what the hell? And I just did it more and more and more. And then I pulled the Tim method. He'd always tell me if he hated it, he just told himself he loved it. No matter what the situation was, he's like, just tell yourself you love it. We'll make it happen. And then
powerful, actually powerful.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to Jason Edwards last week, and he was like, it's hard to get motivated for certain things, but then there's other things I get motivated for. I'm like, just do what Tim did. He always said he loved it. Just tell yourself you fucking love it, and it's gonna happen. And he was good about that, and he did. He might not even realize that he was inspiring people with that, but he was just doing him, And we look back at it and we're like, shit, like that's amazing, because that's the type of shit that I should have done too. So,
dude, gaming is blowing up.
Yeah,
it's been, but it's just.
I love it because like I literally got to a point where I just wanted to party all the time. But like when you have like a fiance or a girlfriend or whatever, maybe you can't go out to the bars all the time and about real life shit. So I was like, and then Trojan suggested me, he's like, maybe you should buy an Xbox and play little games, and I did, and I was like,
yeah. Well, just wait. Your time will be completely filled with fun diapers and all that kind of stuff here soon.
I got a little girl dog I love like a child. So
what's her name? I know.
She's Gizmo.
Yeah, the princess Gizmo.
Shout out to Princess Gizmo. Yeah, you got a beautiful family, beautiful wife to be. And are those the real trophies that you have back there, or are those the copies? Because
no, those are all the originals. And then there is one of the 3 World Cups are a replica. Ryan Smith kept, I think, the last one. I think he pulled me aside and he's like, this one's coming to my house. Like, all right, that's fine.
Those are like $500 to get a replica of one of those.
I mean, Randy Smith takes care of us, so it works out.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure he got a good deal. There was a pallet of them, so it worked out. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. He doesn't fuck around. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's awesome.
Houston Heat, you guys have quite the organization. Is there any breaking news or anything you want to tell us about the upcoming season? Any fresh new things going on with the?
I mean, we are just getting ready to. We head to Texas. What's right now? It's probably got about 4 or 5 weeks. We head to Texas to play X Factor. Supposedly, there's like 6 or 7 teams going to be down there.
Dope.
And who knows like what we make it of, or turn into a little tournament or whatever. But we have that coming up. And I know we're going to be coming out to California again. And just us practicing, working harder, and then gelling with Todd, making things happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta play as much as possible together when you get new additions, especially with a coach.
Yeah, and I mean he sees a lot of strengths, and he's coached Constantine Fedorov before in the past,
right?
And,
with Breakout.
Yeah, he's he's good about exactly like knowing strengths of players and things like that, but. I think he's going in with an open mind and, wants everybody to pull the best out of everybody. So I'm excited to see, like him just go and get after it and, everybody just kind of falling in line and just believing in him and just kind of going and hopefully pulling off a lot of victories there.
Yep.
Yeah. 100%.
Not too many, buddy. Not too many.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with Fedorov? Is he's out in Russia?
So we ran into a situation right before World Cup with his visa expired in March. And
oh my God.
That was last March. So the embassy was closed all the way till then. And it didn't reopen until I believe this year, March. So when it opens back up, we've already got him a interview to get his visa and everything else. And that's the biggest thing that held him back. That's why some of the Russian Legion guys couldn't be there to help him. Because the embassy was closed. It was just not renewing their visas and things like that. So, and we've taken other precautions as far as, making sure this doesn't happen again if the world goes through a global pandemic and things like that. So,
totally.
But I'll tell you what, that guy is, as much as I talk to him, he is so hungry right now. And he's he's excited about Todd. He's excited to come play paintball. He misses the team, and he's an emotional guy that literally like feeds off the energy of the team. And you know, like for him to want and miss and like see things, and he couldn't be there for World Cup, and how he lost. He like personally, I just talking to him. He's like, I feel responsible, and I'm like, no, dude, like you couldn't help it. It was fine. We'll figure it out. And then you know, he was just excited to be part of the team.
To be completely fair, Fedorov is kind of the World Cup king.
Dude, you're not kidding. Like,
he's the World Cup king.
That dude is something fucking special. Like he truly, I mean, he sits at a table with Oliver, and
yeah,
it's just figuring things out. But I'll tell you what, when he turns it on, or when he's motivated to win, like when he goes to the World Cup, it's the World Cup to him, and it's like he goes to another zone. It's crazy. So just get out of his way, because he's on a mission.
Yeah, I forget the numbers, but Rainey was breaking it down, and it's something like out of the last 19 World Cups, he's been to 18 of them, and in the finals, like
13 times.
13 times, and won 6 of them.
He played 12 in a row. He won 6. Mishka has more World Cup finals at 7.
Which is also crazy, because people kind of underestimate Mishka, and that, I mean, he's a legend.
Bro, when people even question things about Mishka with me, I look at him
crazy.
like they're dumbfounded, because I'm like,
totally.
You don't get it. Like the people on the paintball level, like the professional paintball level, they know like that dude's a badass, and that dude can play ball.
He's like the Russian. He's like the Russian Steven Pitts. Yeah. Shout out to OG Steven Pitts.
People don't know how good Steven Pitts really was unless you played on Aftermath, or unless you're Mike Hinman, or like, because he wasn't that guy that wanted all that limelight. You know, he wasn't the guy who got shined on.
Yeah, 100%.
Ward of the Hollow, dude.
he's something special.
Yeah, and damn, dude, that's crazy, those stats, because he is the World Cup king, man. Fedorov is a beast. That guy is no joke.
So has Mishka played in more finals or won more World Cups?
He's won more World Cups.
Wow, Mishka has 7?
Yes, Mishka has 7, because when Fedorov went to the Philly Americans,
the Russians got
Mishka beat Philly with the Russians, and that put one over the top of Fedorov, and then they played together ever since. So because then after that,
that's crazy.
Yeah, because then after that they went to they played with Houston Heat, and then and Fedorov went back to the Russians. They won. They beat us in 2010, and then 2011 they lost to Tampa. 2012 they won with Heat, and then 2013 X Factor won. 2014 Art Chaos won with them, and then 2015 Dynasty beat the shit out of Houston Heat on a lucky buzzer.
Hey, I gotta say, Fedorov deserved a major penalty on that final play.
Hey, I'm not denying it. Everybody.
It is.
I know you were part of that win. It
is in slow motion. I shoot Fedorov in the arm, and like I tuck in, and he took 10 extra steps, puts a ball on me, and I was like, no.
Hey, Kirill learned that lesson 2 years ago, not to take those few extra steps. So it is what it is.
It's
a decision that you make. I'm not mad at anybody for it. I would have done the same thing that he did, or anything else.
Of course. It's just playing the game, and it happens so fast, man. Like what's the other option? You for sure lose, So what you got to risk it. Yeah, if you're not, got to risk it for the biscuit at those moments,
Absolutely.
Dude, Mishka is on another level. Mishka, he had to give you condolences on the print, right? Because he has been rocking that leopard print headband since.
Actually, the one who really gave me the condolences on it was Max Lundquist.
There we go. Yeah.
So I came to
shout out to Max.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude. So I tell a lot of people this too, and some people understand it and things like that. So there's legends, gods, and kings, right? And you got Max as a legend. Mishka's not retired right now, so he's a leopard god, and then I'm the leopard king because I both those guys. What Max did in paintball was truly amazing, was great, and I'll have nothing but respect for him. He actually gave me some of the context to have some of my leopard items done with, to actually push it on. He was actually thrilled that I wanted to actually carry that on. And then with Mishka, his wife made his headgear. And then when he gave me, his wife made one for me. He gave it to me, and then somebody actually stole it out of my bag. That's why I don't have it anymore.
No.
So they stole it out of my bag, and then so I stopped wearing that, like the leopard stuff, and then I just started pushing with it. And then I was talking with Marky one day, and he saw a picture of me in 2002 with a Warped Sports headband of a leopard headband.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I've been rocking leopard for a long time, and So it's funny because like I just said something to the kid from Joy Division who's never won anything with Joy Division, but he always is like Joy, and I'm like, dude, I get it. Like you play on Joy Division, but at the same time, like Joy Division doesn't have 3 World Cups sitting on their shelf, nor has he done anything with Joy Division. But the Leopard legend who gave me the heads up to be like, yeah, do what you got to do, was Max Lundquist. So I was like, all right, cool. So
Dude,
that's
does anybody really need to give you permission to wear leopard print? I mean,
Well,
my mom's been wearing it since the fucking 70s, dude.
So that's another thing too. Is like people are like, oh, you stole it from Joy, and I'm like, it's a print. It's a color.
Yeah.
Like when Houston Heat goes to Europe, we wear blue, not red, and it's like, did we steal that from Dynasty? And it's like, no, it's just a color. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
You definitely stole it from Dynasty.
Yeah.
Dude, I actually played for.
Made our blue lighter, so it wasn't like even close to that.
Yeah.
So that people didn't get confused. So,
I played for Joy Division. I have one. There's one Joy Division Harmon jersey out in the world there somewhere.
Somebody sell it for $600.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's no, it's cool because you know, when people see leopard, you know, I get messages all day long of like, I saw this leopard. They'll be in a store and they see leopard, or
or their grandma wearing leopard print, and
I mean, it works out. So I'm over here telling dudes to wear leopard, and I love it. So,
dude, I love it. I love your whole commercial you did. I love the Leopard King thing.
Yeah.
Again, you talk about like bringing excitement to the game.
Yeah.
I love that you do it because you have shit to back it up, man. The trophies behind you, those trophies matter. They mean something. In my opinion, you've become a dominant force on the field as well. Like your game backs it up. On Houston Heat, you're someone that teams have to deal with these days. You know what I'm saying? So to add into, you know, your on-field antics, the off-the-field stuff is fun, man. It's great. It's good for the game.
Yeah.
I love it.
We need that.
Yeah, it's truly nice because, you know, they call me the Leopard King and things like that, but you can only be called so much without having to be able to back it up. So I make sure, like, when I'm going to the gym all the time or just playing in general, like when me and Ronnie coming out to California this couple times, like in this off season, like my whole team wasn't out there. It's not like we gave the whole team an invite, but Ronnie had to get ready. But that's the type of shit that we do to excel. And it's like, it's sacrifice out of it. And people got real life shit going on. We get it. I mean, I got real life shit going on too, but we sacrificed our time and we flew out there on our own. It wasn't like Randy's like, yeah, come on out. Did Randy provide everything perfect for us to make sure we can stay? Absolutely. Totally. But, you know, we're out there and like, hey, we'll be out soon. And he's like, okay, I'll see you soon. And it was like us going out there on our own and doing things to better ourselves because that's what we wanted to do, you know? Mm-hmm, and so, I mean, it's just something like when we were from, somebody messaged me the other day and was like, oh, since you live out in California, are you available to be here? And I'm like, I don't live in California. Like, oh, you're always out there. I'm like, I'm not always out there. I've just been out there a few times to practice and whatnot, but which I'm okay with because then, you know, people see that like it does take that. It does take the travel, sacrificing to be like, okay, you know, like where you're going to be or what you're going to do to put yourself in that position. And that's certain things a lot of people don't understand. So,
yeah. And you got the best backing in the world, obviously with Marky, HK Army, all the guys, everything that they've done for you guys. Your whole campaign that you've done with the whole Leopard campaign with
it's
HK.
Fucking unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. Like I'll be like, I don't like people like, oh, you're sucking them off all the time. And I'm like, you don't understand like, how good this sponsor and how good this company takes care of their players. Like,
yes,
they're always doing things every single day. Like they sit around the same table and they figure things out together. Not very many companies do that. Along with everybody has a niche in the company. And I love it because of the fact that like those guys who sit there and make a lot of big decisions aren't sitting there in front of the camera. What Marky's good at, you know, they know Marky's good at that. So Marky does that. They have guys that make decisions and I love it. And I think that company is very successful because they've worked hard. They've went through the trenches. They traveled, they've been there and they have a lot of smart people who swallow their pride on not standing in front of the camera and they do things together to make it work. And like, I'm all about it because they literally have stepped up above and beyond. And, you know, we were with other sponsors before, but it's no
awesome. Contest. Yeah. You got Jay, you got Nobby, Brandon, you know, obviously Marky. They have a coalition of people in there that are running the thicket to make sure that you guys get everything HK by HK all day. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it literally
all day, every day, baby.
Yeah. It's another level.
I buy HK and then I click buy again and then I keep buying
buy it
HK.
again, baby.
If HK was a stock, I was putting all my money into that stock. Buy it and buy it and buy it.
If they had stock right now, shit, every kid would put their money into that. I tell you what.
Hell yeah, let's go public. Marky, I know you're listening to this. Time to go
pub. Let's go pub.
That's
funny,
so
man.
Let's go, dog.
Yeah. So yeah, you also have like a managerial role on Houston Heat, right? And you've kind of had that since the beginning. It seems like.
Yeah, Randy Smith, when I helped him start the team and things like that. When he came to me, when he said, hey, what do you think about this? What start a pro team? And then I just literally I gave as much advice as I could, because a lot of times and this actually really helped me save me in my paintball career. If I couldn't be backing it up or playing on the field correctly, then I would have had another asset where I helped the team out so much. And he saw that as a true asset to be like, okay,
yes,
this guy needs to be on the team because he's the glue of what makes sure everything spins. I'm out there, I remember when I was recruiting the Russians, it was literally calling Fedorov at 2:00 in the morning, my time, just to make sure we could have conversation. I mean, you played on a Russian team, the time zone's different, but it's this is what I needed to do for Randy to build this team to be successful. And, and I've made the phone calls and made the right connection with people. And now it kind of seems crazy because it's almost 10 years later. I've known Randy for over 10 years, but it's it seems easy, but we still have our situations where he needs me to go deal with something or go to a sponsor and talk to him, and I'll do it. No questions asked. And I love it and I embrace it. And, he put that faith in me, and, he's not one to go and want to negotiate or deal with that shit. And he just is hey, if you can deal with it, then deal with it. Let me know what the final accusation is, if it's going to help the team or not, and where we're going to go. And he's trusted me a lot with it, and I love it. So it works out.
Yeah, I love that too, man. You've made yourself valuable from the beginning, right? And I really hope you don't take this the wrong way. I don't mean it in the wrong way at all. It's actually out of a ton of respect for what you've done and what you've built. But when you did first join Houston Heat in 2012, it's an all-star team that they're putting together. And yeah, a lot of people were like, does Yaya quite deserve to be on this team?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you're a starting guy. You deserve the spot, undoubtedly, but
and I didn't really ever look down on anybody who judged that or anything else. I knew what I brought to the team, and I knew what I needed to work on. But that's something I said that Jason Chosen really kept me not really, I would say humbled about, because he kept me in a reality check of, hey, you want to be here next to this guy, you want to be just this guy, you have to work harder. And, at first I just assumed that it was going to happen, or I was just going to work out. But without going out there more times than most people, and people don't realize how much the Russian Legion actually practices, so I have a lot of respect for them, is they put in so much time, and those guys were so much ahead of me in my game, and it wasn't anybody's fault, and not even my own. That's just where they brought up from.
Sure.
So I knew that I had to go to another level, and that's something Jason Chosen taught me. Is hey, you have to go out there and work harder than the guy next to you. I remember after you guys won in 2015, you were at the field, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday after you guys won, and you were just practicing because that's what you do. It was, yeah, we won, but I want to get another one, or I want more. And it was just you have to take that, and you have to literally have that work ethic, or it's not going to work. And it's not going to make you successful or make you so dominant in this sport where people can't stand it. And I'm on that mission, and I love that mission. And I literally, from 2012 to even 2014, when we lost the Russians, as I didn't have that kind of, not even work ethic, but didn't have that kind of rapport. And I feel a lot of guys, I have a lot of supporting teammates with it now even, but it just didn't have the respect, and I didn't need it. I just needed to work harder. That's what I need to do. It wasn't even about me getting everybody's respect. It was just, I needed to work harder to get other people's respect. And I get it. You're going to see guys on the internet and things like that, but you're talking about Konstantin Fedorov, Chad George, Mishka. We did have Sergey on the team at one point, and it was just
you had Malloy on the team too at one point.
Dude, and you know what? I loved Malloy as a teammate. I still think that's one of my second regrets is losing Jason Chosen and losing Malloy, because he was truly a great teammate, and he was funny. He was fun to be around.
Malloy's fucking hilarious. People don't realize it because
funny.
He's one of the funniest dudes that I know.
He is something else.
I
love that dude.
Yeah.
It's funny because I played on the Russians for a whole season, obviously. In the first month, I just didn't think he really spoke English because he didn't talk that much. And then once he warmed up, he all of a sudden started cracking jokes and all this stuff. And I was like, wait, what? You've got this whole personality about you? And I was like, man, Malloy is to this day, I mean, the amount of respect I have for Malloy is second to none, really.
Yeah,
it is. He's the man.
And anybody who tells me that he's not a good paintball player, I just look at them like they're stupid.
You have no clue what you're talking about.
Who says that?
I don't even want to give names, but it's just he's not that good, or he doesn't work in this program. And I'm like, You guys don't get it. Like,
Mm-mm.
there's a level, and he's
Yeah.
beyond that level.
Dude, my
We're done having
nickname.
this conversation. I'm gonna go back and drink.
Yeah. Yeah. My nickname for him is Man Bear Lord because he just mans up and bear handles people out there, dude. He just
Do you know that when people called him the bear hunter, he never understood? Like I was like, so you killed like a small bear when you were a child? And he's like, I have no idea why people call me that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And he's like, no clue. And I'm like, this isn't real.
Dude, I love that guy. He's the best.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's funny, and
his dad's great. His
Oh, dude,
dad's
his dad's
phenomenal. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Their whole family is awesome. His little brother actually was super into paintball for a while, had a ton of potential, but now he's like doing rally racing and stuff out there.
Yeah, I know he got deep into college, and then he started racing and things like
Yeah.
that. So I was like, all right, but which is fine. Like, I mean, everybody
Of
gets to do
course.
it and everything else, but
Of course.
Yeah.
We Ty, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sure your question was about that. I just do want to dive back in because again, for the listeners, Chad, it's actually incredibly important, and it's why I have so much respect for you. I truly do, and I probably haven't gotten enough chances to tell you, but it's the ladder that you climbed in the organization that you climbed with, and where you sit now versus where you started in this game.
yeah.
Like, you're explaining the path for people about work ethic and the importance of that, and to hear you actually elaborate on it is really eye-opening to the listeners.
Yeah.
I just want you to kind of continue to elaborate, like, really what it was that turned that switch. Because it seems like, especially the last couple of years, something has really clicked.
I mean,
Yeah.
it really comes down to figuring out what's best for your team and how you can be that guy. At one point, it's hard to imagine, but I was a little fast, speedy guy that would always go to snake, but I wasn't the best snake player in the world. It's hard to imagine, right? But then, like, when I went pro with Aftershock, it was a Dorito. Became a Dorito player, and then all of a sudden, there was better Dorito players. I mean, it was like, okay, how can I really make myself like work for the team? And I'll say that when the wall came with the W, we had Sergey on the team. Sergey was a perfect match for the wall. He could see over it. He's got great gunfighting skills, but he never wanted to go through and get bunkered. And me, all I wanted to do was play. So I had to figure out how to get myself on that field and go through and do things. Sergey was better at a lot of other things, but for me to go through and be an asset to my team, every team had to watch for me, because if I ran through, guns are turning on me, and then all of a sudden my team can go down the field. And that's why Fedorov helped me with it. But it literally was just grinding, working like on my gun skills and things like that. Take in my biggest weakness and just keep driving into it and just be like, okay, like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And when I say, what can I do? I'm not just saying like, how can I be better? It's okay. Today, if you got shot this many times left-handed, go out there by yourself, work on it, or have somebody stand out there and work with you and understand that, like, there's a weakness to everybody's game. Everybody has it. Every team has it. If you can excel on that and become a better professional with yourself and go like farther than that, then your team will succeed and you will be able to like fall into a place of helping the team. And the biggest thing I've ever kept in my mind is, how can I help the team? If I wasn't meant to be out there, I can't be mad at every single coach. And I think actually, like, I remember before the World Cup practice this year, Randy Smith was pissed because he said, he didn't call me out specifically, but he said, you guys are bumping your gums on the internet about, or in interviews about how you didn't play in Vegas and you were pissed about it. But that wasn't the case. I was mad at myself because I didn't put it in his eyes that I needed to be out there to help with that layout. And I felt like when I would go through the center on that layout, it took a lot of pressure off for other teams that we played, because they had to worry about me coming up the center, gun shifted. And I didn't care if I got shot or if I went through or whatnot. But what it did is it released a lot of things for my team. And I had to keep that mindset. And if I didn't give him that mindset, it was my fault. And then, he was shitty about it, but I wasn't nothing to insult him. I was just mad at myself. So I had to go work harder. And I think that guys need to do things like that. They need to do things to put it in their head of how they can help their team the most. If they can't do that, or they like literally, like, if your team was like, hey, Marcelo, go snake off the break and we're going to have you run that 15 points in a row, and think that we're going to be like, this is our best asset, because your voice and how you do, like, how your gun skills are and how you like arrange things and how you can play chess in the game now because you have so much experience, would be the worst idea ever to put you in the snake head down. But we have had situations like that where I'm like, okay, I got to be the guy that literally is capable of doing whatever helps the team the most. And it's worked out a little bit. And I mean, I feel like I'm not even to my top tier yet. And then I feel like I still have a lot to offer to the team, and I still feel like I have a lot to do for the team. So it works out.
Yeah, it's always a progression. And you're right, dude. The guns, that's so important what you're talking about. That we had LJ on the show and he was talking about that as well. You know, drawing those guns up the middle and it opens everything for your teammates. You got to have a guy who's doing that and as well has good awareness of what's going on, which takes a lot of experience to do. But like, why are you so passionate about paintball? What inspires you, you know, to be great? And where do you see yourself and hopefully paintball as a whole in like 5 years?
I mean, I see myself doing, I mean, obviously I'm getting older, but if I'm not helping coach a team or, cause I mean, I don't think at the age of 39 that I'll be playing. I don't think my joints are like, I wake up now and I'm sore.
Yeah.
Like sore to the point where I'm like, holy shit, like this.
Yeah. It's real life, bro. I know I'm 32 and I'm feeling it. And these, you know, I'm like, oh boy, I'm getting old.
But I mean, I never would not want to not have paintball in my life. This is why I love that what, like Mike Himman does so much is, you know, his children are starting to play now and everything else. But like I was there 2 weekends ago in California.
Yeah.
Aftermath's not practicing. He's got a new pro team because they gave him a weekend off. But he's at the field still doing his thing, you know, watching players, things like that. Like I want to be that guy where I love it that much more or have that much fire about the game still that like you're still out there doing your thing. Like if anybody is like hurt or they have anything or they have the weekend off, go to the paintball field. That guy was a perfect example. Everybody at that field understood like that guy literally loves paintball so much. His team that he literally gives everything to, guys that he's truly made elite, and it's still out there on a weekend that his team's not even out there because he loves paintball, you know? Like he's got his kids playing now. It's even crazier. So it's like, oh, like we're gonna see this dude for another 20 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, if his boy Bryce sticks with it, that kid's a young savage.
I watched him get a 4-pack going through the snake, and I was like, here we go.
Here we go.
And he's hounding him. Okay, what should you have done? Like this and that. And I'm like, perfect. Let's go. Like here it comes. Here comes Alex Goldman again. Like let's go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Dude, that's so fucking cool. Shout out to Mike Hinman and his damn dude.
It's just it's shit like that. It's shit like that that inspires me because I see it and it's like he doesn't have to be out there.
Yeah.
He literally owns and runs a paint facility that like he's probably stressed out Monday through Friday on. And he has a family and is like, why does he want to be out here? Like, why would this guy want to be out here? Because he loves it so much. And I hope that I continue to have that kind of passion because it's truly inspirational. It's like, man, like this is like what I've done all my life and I don't see myself doing anything else, you know?
It's too much fun. It's too much damn fun.
Dude, it's a rush that I can't even, I mean, you guys know, it's just like, it's awesome. And I've met so many great people and traveled so many different places and like done so many things. And it's like, shit, like, why would I not want to always be a part of this? Like, this is my life. And it's like, I love every second of it.
100%. Dude, you said something so valuable that I've noticed with a lot of up and coming players, they're really stubborn with their position. And for example, you know, you mentioned you've gone to different teams. You were originally a snake guy, then they wanted to be a Dorito guy, and then you weren't the Dorito guy. And instead of like strong arming and saying, well, maybe this team isn't for me, I'm going to go somewhere else that needs my position. It sounds like you've always had the team first. I've coached teams where, sorry, I see you're about to say something. Just let me get through this real quick. I've coached teams where, you know, I see the players that they have and I see them play, and I've taken the snake player and said, you know what, on this layout, I need you attacking down the Dorito side. And they look at me like, what are you talking about? I've never done that. I'm like, no, you're going to do that. It's going to work and you need to do that. And then we win the event, and that player is like the MVP. And so Tyler and I have been talking about this on the show. It's like, get rid of this married to your position thing. If you want to be a top level paintball player, you have to know how to play all the positions.
Absolutely. If you're not open-minded about what you can do better in a different position, or, oh, you know, hey, you know, we got this guy over here, I'm doing this over here, this is where I play. Get that shit out of your mind. You have to literally, and you know, I learned this a lot from Jason Trozen too. A lot of people didn't understand this or still don't understand how fast Konstantin Fedorov is and how good his gun skills are. I mean, yeah, we know Konstantin Fedorov is truly elite, but putting his head down in the snake where we can have Chad George do that and Chad George go and run like a racehorse, we put Konstantin Fedorov battling down the Doritos, and all of a sudden we have a double punch down both sides. It's like, oh, we have a fast guy here and a fast guy there, and we're not holding anybody back. And it's like taking candy from a baby when he does it. So it's like that dude to go do that. And it's not like he ever wanted to do that, but Jason pulled it out of him. Was like, hey, we're going to have you play over here. And he might even have gotten an argument about it. Like, no, I should do this. No,
really?
This is what I need you to do. I mean, I'm not even saying he did. I'm just saying if he had that mindset to be like, okay, I wasn't like open to this right here, but you know, he did exactly what Jason asked. and he did great things at it. So he's like, okay, this is where he needs me. This is what I have to do.
Well, that was one of the scariest things for other teams. When Houston Heat started putting Fedorov on the Dorito side and you had Chad attacking on one side and Fedorov on the other, it's like, hold up. Now we like, instead of putting all of our focus over here, now we're split.
It's a 1-2 punch. It's a 1-2 punch. And it literally, and then you have a guy going through the center and it's like, fuck, now what do you have to worry about? And I feel like not having Fedorov at the World Cup, not having the adjustments that we needed from a coaching view, we got mercy ruled for a reason, but it showed us how to be dangerous again. It showed us how to go and fix every problem that we thought we were running great. Cause we weren't having bad practices. We played you guys, we played X Factor. We were learning things, but at the same time, we didn't have a problem with just making adjustments on the fly. And that's something we needed to do. And I think if we would have truly had Constantine Fedorov from the Doritos, and even if I played up the center a little more, I didn't play up the center one time at World Cup, which is crazy.
You're kidding me. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was like,
that's crazy.
And that's wild for me to think about, but that's the decisions that were made. So I was like, I have to go out and do exactly like what's going to help my team. And I got to play and I was super excited about it. But if we would have had more adjustments to different weapons, then I think we could have truly done better. But we understood that, we learned from that, and then we hired Todd Martinez. And
well, when we played you at practice, you were going up the middle a ton because I know I had to deal with your ass.
You got a 5-pack.
Shit on the old Iron Cats right to the center. And then
I was having to deal with your ass just about every game when I was trying to calm down the Doritos. So it was and that was talk to me about that field, dude. That field was nuts, huh?
What do you mean? You guys won that shit. You talk to me about that. I got mercy ruled on Sunday.
Bro, we
just did a trick play at the end and got lucky.
We got lucky, dude.
It wasn't a trick play. Listen, if you guys think, okay, here, I'll give you this one. Do you guys think that you have no adjustments to be made?
No adjustments to be made?
No,
what do you mean for next season?
The ball. Yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, do you guys think there's anybody that you or could have done anything better to win that World Cup? I know who was standing there, the two guys that were standing there. I'm looking at them right now at the end of that game at World Cup.
Yeah, there's a lot we could have done better. We let X Factor back in that game, man, because we didn't quite attack on the snake side. And or
the Dorito, we could have even come a little bit harder down the Dorito.
Yeah, we let them come back in that game, and in overtime, I mean, it was a 3-on-2 there. If Jesse doesn't dive and core sample into that Dorito corner, that whole game's a different story, and we're not sitting here as the World Cup champs. So at the end of the day, there's a shit ton of stuff we could have done better.
But that's what I'm saying though. So like, even with that, so recognizing things like that, a lot of teams don't think that, and they make excuses like, oh, we got screwed by the refs, or oh, this didn't work out in our favor.
Right.
Yeah.
It's things like that. But like you said, you made an adjustment. You were the only snake out there from that side, from the can over, right, Marcel?
Yeah.
And then you had Tyler Dalton, who else? Blake?
And
Ryan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ryan played great through the center. Literally just showed exactly why he's a great fucking paintball player. Like, that guy has done great things, and literally he became the MVP, and it worked out. There's always room for adjustment. So it's just like, if people don't keep that kind of mindset towards their team, or even when they win, to win another one, things like that, then it's like, shit, like, what are we truly doing here,
Mm-hmm. The reality is, you don't need to be perfect in your adjustments to win a tournament. You just need to make one more good adjustment than the other team, essentially. But a player needs to always go back and look at every single mistake. And you brought it up. If you're not shooting 5 a game, you made mistakes. Like I've always said, if I don't pull up off the gate and shoot 5 paintballs and hit 5 people, there's room for improvement. Like that's the only time that there wouldn't be room for improvement. If I pull up, I shoot 5 paintballs and shoot 5 people, then okay, I've done it. If I can do that every time. But until you're to that godlike point, there's always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
And dude, I don't think we've shared this with the listeners. You want to know something funny about that final play? And actually, Ryan and I just noticed it watching. Do you know, Ty? Oh, we talked about it.
I know that I have a funny thing about that last point too.
So
I want to hear this.
We had this play set. We actually came up with it against the Russians, right? We were like, we're going to short the snake side one of the points because, hey, they've got Malloy and Smotrov. Those are 2 of the most dominant. Just don't let them get to our side of the field, and we'll go win down the Dorito side. Pretty simple. Like, it's no secret. Everyone knows what we did. Cat's out of the bag. So anyway, in the overtime point, we decided to pull that play out again. Blake and Dalton both went to the wrong bunkers.
In
that play. That's why Blake got shot. He wasn't supposed to go to that spot. So he got shot on the break, and Dalton didn't shoot the guy that he was supposed to because he wasn't in the spot he was supposed to be. Like that overtime point was we were not supposed to win. We were not supposed to win. We blew it, actually.
Oh man!
and I
Don't
hate
tell
to
X
call
Factor that.
I hate to call our boys out like that, but I was watching film. I was going back and I was actually doing like a game review for BKI, and I was in the overtime point, and I was like, why did Blake go to the corner? We lost Blake going to the corner. That I know that's not the play. Why did Dalton go here? This was not the play. Dalton, I think, was too tired to actually make the corner run, and so switched spots with Blake. But Dalton wasn't tall enough to get the shot. That's why we were sending Blake there. It was funny turn of events, dude. You know,
That's funny.
Yeah. Dalton, the joke about Dalton that whole weekend, I was like, hold on to your hip meat. You know, every time that he would go run, I said, hold on to that hip meat, boy, because it's going to blow right off your leg. His leg was hurting, dude.
That's funny. Is he coming back for next year?
Oh, yeah. All 6, 7 tournaments, maybe 8.
6 or 7.
Oh yeah. How do you feel about the new jam, the Super Cup? By the way, we know it's the Champions Cup, but we're
calling it Super Cup, baby,
because the Super Cup is so much sicker. Yeah. So how do you feel about the Super Cup?
You know, I'm about it because when teams win all year long, they're still losing their ass off when they're going to events. Why not make this a big fucking show for the end of it? You know, why not make it a huge prize of money, give it somebody something to talk about, and then when you walk away, you truly are the guy with the big ass check. You're not sitting holding a little weak ass $12,000 check. You're holding a huge ass check.
Yeah.
And then you got bragging rights, and it's like, hey, I just took all this money, and it's like, shit. I know I'd like to hand Randy a fucking huge check and be like, here you go. Here's not some puny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Here. So it's like, it is what it is. But
yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like, you know, like I get the whole inspiration behind it. And I mean, we're all still in, and it's crazy to think about because we've been around paintball for 20 some years, like with all of us combined, but it's still growing and it still has room. And it's like what we're figuring out, what makes it like how it's truly elite, how it truly is able to be viewed. How can we get it out to more people? How can more people all over the world see it more times than some guy throwing a bag in a hole called cornhole? So it's like, how is this sport not in the Olympics? You know, like what do we got to do? And it's like, it's still trial and error. And it's like, how can we make this all happen? What's wrong with making something where it's like, oh, these guys are about to win $100,000 and make it sweet. You know, I'd rather say I won $100,000 than $12,000 each time, 5 times, you know?
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's cool. Like if you qualify, you get a payout all the way up to 12th place. So if you qualify, it's almost like you get paid for winning one event. You know?
Yeah.
So to me, it makes sense. It is cool. My only beef is that it's Pro Bowl weekend. So it's in, February. That's kind of look, we don't get paid enough to not have off season with holidays and Christmas with our family. So I'm a little bummed about that. We're all going to have to be working through Christmas, working through January, you know?
I'm not against that, but things change, things happen. I think that if you qualify for it, I think your mindset will change because I know that when you go to an event, it changes for you. And then I think you just turn it on and it's just a sacrifice that we all make. So.
Yeah, I mean, of course, look, if we qualify for the Super Cup, we're going ham all the way through. But again, bad timing. We're trying to compete with football ratings and football, stuff like that. People do watch Pro Bowl.
This guy's got wine-infused cannolis to be eating, baby.
That's right. I have wine-infused cannolis that I'm supposed to be eating all of December. So, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? If I'm going to be eating wine-infused cannolis all of December, I'm going to show up with a January hangover, and then we got to train all of January and compete for the damn Super Cup at the start of February.
That's funny.
Dude, hey, I think that paintball is being viewed more than it ever has been in today's current landscape with
that's why I think Ghost Sports does such a great job because there's so many different avenues for it. It's just
shout out to Marky, 1 million on TikTok. Let's go.
I know, right?
Yeah. That's big cheese right there. That's big.
I mean, how many people thought that one guy was going to get 1 million views? I mean, I remember the one video he put up of me and Ronnie playing. We got 8.2 million.
Yeah.
Just on like us playing X Factor.
Yeah,
and right. He was like, bro, this is blown up. He's like, my TikTok just blew up. I'm like,
yeah.
You didn't tag me. I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, one video. I'm like, 8.2 million. Like, what the hell?
It's all you need is that one video.
That's what it is.
Dude, Fox News, like the main Fox Nation, their streaming service just did a pretty big thing on the Master Blasters.
Yep.
I saw that with Frank.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool that they got that going. I agree, Ty.
Instagram in general,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
is
there's more
popping. There's a lot of people playing paintball. It's a great thing to see, you know?
That's another thing too, is like, so even with social media, like, so we're all pretty good about it. I mean, you guys do a good job with like play the game podcast of bringing things like to another level, being like, okay, here's more content. Ronnie has gotten so big because all he does is produce more content. People have things to watch in the off season, especially, or in general, just like they get to see more paintball. They want more paintball, but it's almost like it's held back from them if they don't have it at their fingertips for free. Instagram's free, but you know what they do? They get ad money. Facebook's free, but they get ad money. It's like, okay, what do we have to do to make sure we can make this free to the public? So like who really thought that when, like, I remember you couldn't even have Facebook unless you were in college. So when I was in college, we had Facebook, but it grew because it was free. And then ad money came, and then different things happened. And it was just like, okay, like, what do we have to do to let this truly inspire other people outside of what they already know? You know, I know that I can't ask somebody to give me their $10 every single month if they don't know about something. So for us to get it bigger, we need to allow it to be viewed more by more people. And then we can start asking for money because there's ad money. And it's like, they want their money back because they put so much money in. And I get it. There's a lot of money spent, but we have to figure out a way how to let more people see it.
I agree. I agree so much. I truly think that we've answered this question. It's the prelim should be free. Put that shit on Facebook. Let the prelims be free.
Then it gives them a reason to subscribe for Sunday.
Yeah, you know? And now you're invested because you see the battles, the commentary, everything, and even let the first round Sunday morning be free because now they're really frothing.
Yeah, because then
now they're really frothing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's Sunday morning that they're frothing. And then the semifinals and the finals are behind a paywall. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But you're killing two birds with one stones there, you know. And I don't see why we're not doing that. You know, I really don't, because I agree. I think especially right now, so many people are home, so many people are on their phones or on their computers now more than ever.
Yeah.
The more, like, we have an opportunity to have a ton of eyes on the game.
Yes, 100%. And I can't knock exactly what people have done so far because they've done a great job with it. It's just how can we go over that hump, you know?
It's like, did you run through and shoot 5 people, or did you only get 4?
Exactly.
Right now, Go Sports is having 4-pack run-throughs. That's fantastic, but let's get 5.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I agree, dude. Major love for Cena, Darren, Maddie. They crush it. They've given us the best platform.
We wouldn't even be to this level, but absolutely. How can we go? How can we go and get more and more and more? Like, I think somebody every day should be like, okay, what can we do now to make it more, you know?
Totally. And reasonable. Like, it does have to be reasonable. There is a real cost to coming to these events.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not saying it doesn't cost. And I'm not knocking anybody for anything. So it's just like, I think that we just have to figure out how there's a solution to get more. Do we need a big time investor to come in and like is able to sit on the fact of hopes and dreams of it getting more, or like what is it going to take, you know?
Yeah, I think,
and it's all progression
organically.
That's right. Yeah. It's all progression. That's where that kernel of thought is coming from that you're talking about. Is that progression. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see your baby grow up and be successful. You know what I mean? And there's no knocks like you're saying, but we sit on a landmine a landmine and a gold mine at the same time, because it could be whatever we choose for it to be. We can make it the gold mine or we can make it the landmine, and we got to make sure that we're boosting this baby up and getting it into college, getting it a good career, getting it, you know, on the right path to get to the front lines and have a good life. Paintball deserves a good life, and you know, it's done amazing things for so many people's lives. It saves lives. People, especially right now, need paintball, get outside and just enjoy themselves. And I know that, you know, we all hear from kids across the world who aspire to be great paintball players, and, you know, maybe they don't have anything going for them. So it's just a great outlet for the world. It really is.
Absolutely. And I think that there's room. We just got to figure it out. It's got to be a solution, and hopefully it does get figured out, you know?
Yeah.
Where's one of your favorite places you've traveled for paintball?
You know, I've been to Moscow just to visit, not even just to play paintball. The fields I went to, I couldn't believe that the way they are crazy.
Talk to me about that. What do you mean?
I mean, it was nothing like this here. Like, I have a field that I call the Field of Dreams. It's literally a field, they call it the paintball barn. And it's literally like 45 minutes from my house, and it's one piece of turf, so it's not all separated. They sat on it for 2 years, built the draining system, watched how it all drained, and then they made it where it's amazing. It's soft, it's great. And then I go to Russia and I look at this hard ass turf, and I'm like, this is what you guys train on? I'm like, you guys are really animals. I'm like, and she was like, yeah, what's wrong with this? And I'm like, you're eating berries and bananas off the trees and you're doing this shit. I'm like, come on. So he's like, there's nothing wrong with this. I'm like, yeah. Really. But then they come to America and they love it. So
yeah.
no, there's a lot of different places, but I would say, when I did running with the bulls in Spain, like just experiencing all that and seeing Spain was sweet. I haven't got to go to Australia or New Zealand, and I really want to do that. And I really want to see like Japan.
Me neither.
You know?
We got to go. Let's go. Let's plan a trip to Australia and do a clinic out there. Actually, I have people who want us to go, so we can all pile up and head out there and do it.
We'll get in a van. We'll bring Marky. We'll make it.
Yeah, make it a thing, dude. Australia is fantastic. I love that place. I cannot wait until these borders open up appropriately so we can get back to jamming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
So, it's crazy, but I mean, there's a few different spots, but at the same time, it's like just being able to travel. And I mean, I remember at one point I was just like, I don't want to say over it, but I was just exhausted because we were only home like 7 days a month, right? We were playing 3 different leagues, doing all this shit. And I was like, man, I just want to take a break. But now that like I've had that break, it's like, man, I couldn't wait to do things. And I feel like I took advantage of this more than most in the COVID season was by going out, training more during the week, going places and doing things to always view something with paintball, like either putting it on social media or going to the field or doing like even with the pro tour and then going to the ultimate shootout and people are like, man, this kid's like out here.
Yeah.
Always saying my name because I'm always out there doing something with paintball. And I think that if guys want to have that kind of inspiration or go to that level, they have to do the same thing. Like put it on the internet that you're at the field that day or put it, make yourself like able to be at the field as much as you can. So it's like shit. Like, I mean, this off season I've been to California 3 times now and it's like how many people have flown out to California and done things like that. So it's like shit. So, and I get it. There's real life shit, but at the same time, it's like,
and all for paintball, for paintball for your own progression.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
There's real life shit, but there's also what do you want out of life, and once you figure out that answer, there's steps to take to get there, and you have to take those steps, whatever those steps are. You're constantly putting yourself in position, like you said before, right, to be in the spot that you want to be in. And you're right. I feel like COVID season, quote unquote, COVID times, as we call them here on the show, was an opportunity for a lot of people, and a lot of people slept on it. Majority of people have slept on it, and it's unfortunate because while there is a lot of loss and a lot of real stuff going on, and a lot of families are struggling, and I'm not discounting that at all, there is also a ton of opportunity during these times, and there's still a ton of opportunity.
Yes.
When you're going through life, you got to recognize that there's just always going to be a shift, right? There's going to be change. There's going to be things that are unexpected, and the people that thrive during those moments are the ones that in the long run fare off way better than people that struggle in those turns, that's the way it goes.
And I feel like a lot of people, and I get it, real life shit's hard. People got families, things like that, but if you can turn a negative situation into something positive, I feel like you're always, and it's hard to do that sometimes, especially when you're knocked down. But if you can be that person to be like, okay, don't let this knock you down. In 5 years, is this going to really affect my life if I do this right now? Like just turning not negative situations into positive situations.
Yeah, man.
It works out. And I mean, if people could truly have that kind of mindset to do that, then I think the world would be a better place. But at the same time, it's like people will be more successful. And that's something that they could take and put in their jar and sleep on at night. But at the same time, it's like, if you go and you turn negative things in, I saw it even today. People who even see like anything that you do and then they have something negative to say to you. Are you really an open-minded person, or are you like, hey, this guy's like trying to do something, So people that don't have that kind of mindset to literally gas that person up next to them or gas that person up or just inspire somebody, like sit back and watch me roll because I got nothing to do but just do positive things and I got shit to do. So
yeah,
I love
absolutely. That. Well, it's like it's all about the words, right? At the end of the day, it's all about the words that you say to yourself and the words that you say to people, and like even the word create, CREATE, and then react. Right? Those two words, they're built very similarly, right? With the letters, but there's two completely different outcomes from which one you choose. Are you going to create or are you going to react?
Yeah.
And if you choose to create, you might take it on the chin and have to be responsible for everything, and it's going to hurt a little bit more, but at least you're not blaming, making excuses, reacting and flaring up and letting this thing eat you alive. You're choosing to take it on the chin and create and move forward in a positive light. You know what I'm saying? And I think you do that really well. And that's a testament to just your success as a whole, because that outlook on life, Chad, that you have, bro, that is why you're sitting where you are with the trophies and the Leopard King and the all the HK glory. And, you know, because you have a great glow and you have a light, and people feed on that. And it's contagious, you know, people need that.
And I take it as a blessing too, because it's like, you know, not everybody's going to be like that. Not everybody's going to have that inspiration. Not everybody's going to have that kind of mindset, because I don't expect them to, and a lot of times you're not going to be given that. But if you go and you look at things like that, or even if listen to this and you go and you change your mindset, or you want to be like, and Jarvis Landry said it right when he went to the Cleveland Browns. He went to a shithole team, but he told them all in a receiving meeting, he said, you know what? We're done thinking like that we're losers. I'm thinking that we're going to have a parade about being last place. And then just went and beat out the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. And they had a great mindset because they believe they can do it. If everybody goes and they go another level in their mindset, shit falls into place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy to think that you have to say it for people to believe it, but it's true. Like it literally has to happen. If you don't see it, or you don't believe in it, or you don't have that mindset to be like, hey, whatever just happened to me and knocked me down, I have to come back stronger. It's just like any fighter that gets in the ring. It's anybody who loses at a paintball tournament, anybody who literally loses their job and doesn't think that there's something else out there. You have to have that mindset to continue to go farther. And if you don't do that, then it's going to knock you down. And that's life, and it's hard, but it's how you take it. And it just builds you as a person. It builds character. So
where do you think you got that mindset from? Is it something to do with your upbringing, having to earn stuff, having stuff you went through, if you don't mind us asking?
Nah, you know, I mean, my family and my dad was he's still a truck driver now. He never really was involved with paintball too much. You know, he's proud of like where I've been now, and he actually just got to see me play the World Cup this past season. But he was never really like around paintball like that, so I was always out on my own. But there's been a lot of people that have inspired me to like have that mindset. And I mean, I don't know. I just wake up and I just don't think like that. I don't know if it's like something I got from my parents or I didn't get from them. But it's not anybody that's like truly like I've grown up around, other than just people that I've met through paintball, like that I see that like literally like, hey, I don't have time for negativity. I got nothing, but I got shit to do. And, you know, I talk to Marky about this all the time. Even Han Wu, I talked about this. It's literally about being on another level that people don't understand. And there's so many avenues and assets to people see on social media where they could be like, you know what? I want to be inspirational today. How can I inspire somebody? But they don't go with that. They go, what can you do for me? Or how can I go get mine? You can go get yours, but you can also try to inspire people and mix them together, work off each other, let them feed off each other. How can I make my team better and be the fucking best guy on my team so my team knows I can be out there to win? And I think that if you don't have that mindset, you won't succeed, or you won't put that 10,000 hours in, or you won't really follow. And I tell people all the time to read the 48 Laws of Power, because that shit's inspirational. That shit is real, and that shit is from people who are successful. And if you look at things and you read things on people who are successful, shit didn't happen overnight. Shit didn't happen last week. Like, I didn't become the Leopard King or have any kind of persona because it happened. I fucking woke up and I was wearing leopard and trying to do that. It took a lot of time. Like I said, slept on a lot of couches. A lot of people have helped me as far as like, you know, not even handouts, but just to be like, hey, here's information that I think will be inspiring to you. And it's just fallen into place. And I've taken that and I've loved it, embraced it, and it's just going from there, you know?
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind me making an assumption about why I think you got to where you are.
No, go ahead. Absolutely.
It's something, it's something Tyler and I talk about, and just having this conversation with you. One, dude, we love this show so much because our peers, our friends, like we never really get to sit down and talk with them like this, you know, for extended periods at a time, you know. It's always, you know, pretty quick at these events. And so to hear some of the stuff you said, you know, we've been talking a lot about grit equity, you know, and what that is to us is the amount of work you put in to get something that you're striving to get. Absolutely. Every step of the way, you work your ass off, being a janitor in the morning, right? And then, you know, going to school, and then telemarketing at night, like long ass days to pursue something that you want, sleeping on couches, everything that you sacrificed, you're building up this grit equity. And then when you get pushed back, when life kind of pushes you back, you're not going to fold easily because you have so much built up that you've invested into this thing that it's just like a unstoppable tidal wave, you know, like nothing's going to stop you. You might be able to splash a couple drops out of this wave, but you're not stopping the wave.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just interesting, dude. It's cool. I like this from like a you know, psychological perspective of, how the brain functions and what makes people, you know, resiliency. It's something that psychologists have not figured out. Why are some people more resilient than others? And they don't have that down to like an exact science yet. And to me, it's interesting because so many people that do go through adversities, especially when they're younger, at any age, really, they come out better most of the time. Not always, but especially if you do come out, like you come out a really strong individual. You're probably somebody that shines in whatever you do.
Yeah. And I think that that's something that actually, like, I'm glad that my dad gave me a mindset of, you know, you got to work hard to like literally achieve it, you know? And if I didn't have that mindset, I don't know if he would be as proud of me as he is today. I know when I look at him and, you know, I've drank plenty of beers with him where it's just been like, he's like so proud, where I'm like, I'm proud because I'm representing the name that he gave me, you know? And it's like, it just literally hits home because it's like, if I know how hard I worked and I know how much harder I need to work to continue for the success. And I feel like I'm very successful to where I'm at in my career right now. Like if they told me like, hey, you're done tomorrow, you can never play again. I'd be like, okay, I appreciate everything. And I'd be happy, but I wouldn't be like satisfied, you know? You can be happy with that, but you're not satisfied yet. And I still want to put more trophies on my shelf, and I still want to do things with my teammates, and I still want to go, and we have a new coach that I want to hand more trophies to and things like that. Like I want those things because that's what like literally in my qualification is, you know, doing things like to be successful. And I'm not saying like the materialistic things are successful, but it's something to show your hard work is done, and it's something to show in the past like what you've done. And, you know, someday when I die and everybody puts these trophies around, like, you know, my funeral and everything else, or they see my passport to where I traveled to, or I have 3 shoe boxes full of plane tickets that I've saved since 2008, like when I went pro. And it's like, I want people to see what I did and what I was successful with. And they can do that. Like, I don't have to go back and look. Like, I remember looking at AJ Lawhead when he retired from Aftershock. He was loyal to one team. And I'm not saying don't be loyal, but I'm saying that he was loyal to one team. I think he made Sunday one time, never won a pro tournament, never won a game on Sunday, and then he called it quits with his career because he had real life bullshit. I never wanted that feeling. I never wanted to write that shit. You know, respect to him because he was loyal to a team, but he didn't get the same things that I wanted out of it. And he didn't have to because he didn't have that mindset, or he didn't want those things. But I won X amount of tournaments. I have X amount of World Cups. And it's like, that's the shit that I wanted to do. And it was like, I never wanted to be that guy that didn't have that shit on my resume like when I was done, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, what does it take for an organization to win chips?
Got to go to the casino, baby.
You literally have to go to the casino. You literally have to go and be like, take a fucking gamble, because I had a guy take a gamble on me to trust to build a team with him. And you know, it worked. It worked early, and we became a blueprint. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of man hours of arguing back and forth on the phone. And not everything is like easy and coded. We've had plenty of arguments, and, you know, but that's like part of us being a team, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, Randy gives his reasoning behind things. I give mine, and we work it out. But like you said, we go to the casino. Does he know that 3 Russian guys come to this team and help us become successful at the time period? He doesn't know that. All he knows is the fact that I'm telling him that these guys will help us win. There was actually 4 original ones, but one didn't get on the plane. And then
no shit. Who was it?
It was Malloy.
Malloy.
Oh,
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he said Marcelo Margot's gonna play on the team. I'm staying.
Hey, tight, dude. There we go, Malloy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just different things like that, and it's you know, we haven't changed our roster in 4 years now, and sometimes I cringe about it, and sometimes I think that's a problem. But you know, we did add a coach, and I think we've shown how we can win without a top elite coach. And you know, now that we have somebody who I feel that's at the top of their game as a coaching level, here's what he has to work with, and I feel like he's given a lot of cards that he knows what to work with, and we're going to go from there. But yeah,
I don't think a lot of people understand how much of Houston Heat you are. You know what I'm saying? Like they know that Chad is a part of Houston Heat, and
I'm okay with that though. Like, I don't need him to be like, Oh
Like,
yeah,
you're the cornerstone, bro, of this whole damn thing.
I mean, I'll give a lot to Sam Monville as well.
Yeah.
And I give a lot of praise to Chad George because not only has he put like a lot of trophies on my shelf, but he is a big part of being the core. Chad's always just a positive guy. He doesn't require a lot. He doesn't ask for shit, and that's what every team should want. You got a dude who's truly an elite snake player, and doesn't ask for anything other than just support from his guys. That's it, So it's like I couldn't be more thankful, and
Chad's a man.
Yeah, and and a lot of things I try to do a lot of times, like even making decisions on certain things, I try to include Ryan Moorhead a lot because that dude as a teammate is a great teammate. He gives a lot of positive advice, and you just can't really ask for a dude who hasn't been there, and you can't not take advice from him because it's like this dude knows. He knows exactly what it takes to win. If we all fall and believe in the same system, then it works out. And just the way he presents himself to the team,
Ryan, he a fucking inspiration, bro. He has one of the greatest styles of humankind, like in paintball, outside of paintball, whatever. And his style is so unorthodox. I appreciate everything that he's brought to the game. He's a complete legend.
He's a beast. There's a video the other day made with us doing drills, and I'll give it to Alex Goldman. He put me down to the ground in his drills a couple weeks ago, and he actually said something to me real shit. And he said, "You're bitching about you not getting enough playing time, but if you can't do this shit longer and longer and longer for 3-4 hours at a time, then you don't need to fucking be out there." He's like, "That's just real talk." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And he's like, "I ain't trying to hurt your feelings. I'm trying to give you the truth." And I'm like, "Hey, I believe you. Like, you are right now. Like, if I'm out here," and he had me throwing up. He's like, "If you can't do this shit for 3-4 hours at a time, then you shouldn't play every single point, fucking 45 points in a tournament." You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." He's like, "I get it. There's breaks in here and this, but this is the shit that pushes you to push you over the edge. You got to have that mindset to keep going." And I kept going, and then he went another hour past me. Like, he literally didn't stop. And I was like, "Yep, he's right. Keep that mindset." And like, all he did was just feed my mind, because people like that around you, you can't take that negative. You have to take that as inspiration. You have to take that person who's willing to work that fucking hard, that knows, hey, like, if this guy's going to be that guy, then you're either going to stand next to him or you're going to fall behind, and this guy's going to make it. You're not going to be holding that trophy at the end of the day.
Yeah. Me and Mouse, Marcelo, we're always talking shit to each other when we're playing paintball, dude. We go at it out at the paintball field, and him and I, we fucking bump chests and fucking, talk some mad shit to each other. But at the end of the day, him and I both look at each other and we're like, I love you, kind of like, it's all love type thing. But
yeah, he gets in the zone, and I'm okay with that, because how he feeds it, and when he gets in those gates or when he gets in between those lines, it's like, fuck, man, like, how do you not respect that? If you can't go to that level that he's at, then we should not be out there with that guy right now. And like I said, you're elite, and it's like, if you can't either talk that shit or do the same shit or go and put it on a guy with that same mindset, then don't come into this cage, because this is a different cage. This is a different
That's element. Right.
So, dude, and like, even when like I have these like top tier teams with these lower tier teams, or even when like they're doing like with the invitational shit, I'm not against it because it gives them more experience. What I am against is these guys thinking that they can hold their own without having to put in the work in. Right now, they're showing that they want to put the work in to be that next team and to stand up. It's just steel sharpens steel.
Yeah.
I don't know how much better they're getting by doing this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, did it make Tampa damage better that they went and kicked the shit out of those teams a couple weeks ago? Probably not, but they did it, and it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So it's just different mindsets, but at the same time, like, they're trying, and it works out. Eventually, they'll turn that corner. Some of them have it, some of them don't. It'll work out, but it's a mindset, and it's like, when you get inside those lines, if you don't have that mindset of being that, like, that animal to being that monster of a person where you have to like win, then I don't know if you will win. I don't know if you'll become successful.
You probably not. And we're also so fortunate. Mouse is a testament to what you're talking about right here. That guy has one of the most beast mindsets in the game. Even I'll never forget when we were younger, we played on Aftermath together, and we hung out in Tennessee with Zach Wake for like a week, and we were shooting basketball, going to the gym.
I love Zach Wake.
Yeah, shout out to Zach Wake. And I'll never forget the conversations that me and Mouse had about paintball. And it really, I think it inspired both of us a lot. And that dude is obviously a marvel in the paintball world. So it's a testament to everything that he's done. Just the mindset, like you said,
Absolutely. Here, give me a second. I'm gonna step away. I gotta pee real quick.
Yeah, no, you gotta pee in a bottle, dude. That's the rules.
I got a good story for you.
Yeah, for the
that's fantastic.
PTG listeners out there, sometimes it has to be done, you know.
Sometimes, every now and then, got to be prepared. We like to
Yeah.
go the distance on this show, you know? Oh, that's good stuff, man. I
Yeah.
love this conversation with Yaya though. This is great. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he's often perceived as a jokester,
Mhm.
but actually he has the right mindset, dude. He knows what it takes.
That's right.
That's really badass, man. And it makes sense actually because
Of
he has
course.
had a lot of success, especially recently.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. It makes sense. You know, mindset is everything. Understanding how to do the work, the process required, and you know, the
And
mentality, the grit.
the people around you too, your
Yes.
community, right? Like
Yeah.
you show me the 5 people you hang out with most, I'll tell you a lot about who you are.
Always, every time,
You know what I'm
100% of
saying?
the time, every
That's
time, all
right.
day, every day.
That's it, baby.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Keep your circle tight. Keep it right.
that's and no, not like, if God bless people, because like I said, everybody's on their own journey. We're all trying to make it in this world, and you know, sometimes you might be associated with things that may not be the most beneficial, but it also says something about you if you don't turn your back and you help support those people and you know, help be the best version of everybody's self. But
Mhm.
in the same token, you have to be careful about how you choose to allocate your time. There's only so much of this time that you're going to receive in this life, and it's so precious, it's finite. There's a limited supply of this, and you have to make sure that we're investing that time properly. And if you put yourself around people like Yaya, like Marcelo, like Marky, like Mouse, like legends that have their head on straight, you're going to get to areas of your life that you would have never imagined and reach plateaus that you would have never seen otherwise, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Welcome back, brother.
Yeah. How was it, dude?
How was it?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands or shake hands.
Take it more than twice. You're playing with it. It is what it is.
That's funny, dude. Man, in all honesty, I forgot where we were. I know we were talking about Mouse talking shit and all that,
Nah,
and him
just-
having a strong mindset, which he does. But
Yeah.
I know how to get under his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
But I
known
mean,
that cat a while.
that's the kind of shit. That's the kind of shit that drives people, though. If they have that level, or they can be at that level, is you know, it's possible, and it's possible to be at that level. It's just you have to have that mindset. Because I'll tell you right now, like that dude, once he walks into on that field, it's all business. Once he steps off the plane to go to that event, it's all business.
Yep.
And if you don't have that same mindset, and I have it where I can turn it on and off, where I go, I can sit outside the field and chit chat and talk to people and whatnot and smile. He's all business. He's there to do one thing. He's there to win, you know? And I think a lot of people can have that mindset and they can succeed. And some people can turn it on, turn it off, and they can still succeed. But it's when you step on that field, if you don't have that mindset, knowing that you prepared yourself at the best time to get this, like literally to win something that's truly so hard to win, then you're not going to be there. And a lot of teams don't understand it. A lot of like you know, bottom tier teams don't understand that. Like, I get it, they got real life shit and they do this shit for fun or whatnot, but like teams that want to succeed or teams that want to go to another level, I'll give it to Tempe Damage. They literally went from being a mid-tier team to, hey, you're not going to fuck with this type of shit because we just put a bunch of dudes on our roster and we hired the right people to bring it in and make it happen. That's a team that I think that will right now like be someone to fuck with, and you will see them in the finals because like they have good players and they have guys that are elite and the guys that have that mindset, you know?
That's it. Yeah, we're excited to see, you know, Aftermath. We're excited to see Damage. We're excited to see you guys. We're excited for paintball to just be back already. It's been too long. Yeah. This is the longest off-season crazy year ever. So we're just hoping that we can safely get back to playing as much paintball as possible soon.
Yeah, we had this. It seemed like we had a long off season to ramp up real quick for World Cup, and then a big old long break again until the next damn tournament.
You know, it's crazy because it's like, I mean, I know Marcel, you still played, and I mean, yeah, you didn't get to travel as much and everything else, but you still played. Tyler, you still played. You know, you took your game to another level where you went full time on with paintball. But it's like, yeah, I get it that there wasn't tournaments and everything else, or even people say it with like sponsors, like, oh, you know, there wasn't a lot of tournaments, so we shouldn't do this with the sponsors. And I'm like, hold on here, like some of us didn't stop, like we didn't look at it as like stopping. And if a lot of people need to take that, like just don't stop. And when people say, oh, there's no off season, I'm like, but there was for you. That's how you just like saying it. But people who actually do it and have that mindset, it shows and it works out. And I think, and I'm not saying I'm the only guy out here just doing it, but people who do it, it shows and you see it, and real recognize real, and you see it like with certain teams, and it's like, fuck. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be exciting. Start to the season. It's a little later in the year for an event to happen, but I think it's also good and safety wise for the league and the players and everything else and how it all is going to transpire. I think that there's madness to the there's methods to the madness and everything else, and I think it'll work out. I think it'll be good. So
It will.
Hot take. How do you feel about Impact? Since we're talking about Mouse, how are they going to do this year? Their pickups?
Dave's not fucking around. He's
Bart's not fucking around.
Yeah, Bart is in Canada right now, so I'll say that Dave's making moves and he's calling Bart and getting the okay or however it may be. But yeah, they're not fucking around. They didn't win these couple events. They didn't win last year. That team with Justin Rabikoff, Alex Goldman, you put Alex Rodriguez on that team. Brandon Cornell, that is a team you don't fuck with. That team you don't take lightly. That just because they haven't held a trophy in 12 months doesn't mean shit. Like, they are out there to prove a point. They're out there to hurt you. They're out there to win. They're there. They were dominant for a reason. They're a team that you're going to have to watch out for. And I don't know what Matt Jackson does for that team, but they took him from a team and it hurt that team.
Totally.
So however the math's done on that, it is what it is. Do I think that he'll be fine on that team? Absolutely. But he doesn't do anything on that team that they already don't have. It just hurt another team.
Correct.
So it is what it is. Do I think they needed him? Absolutely not. If you have Alex Goldman, Justin Rabikoff, and Alex Rodriguez, and you fill in the blanks from there, it is what it is, You're
in a pretty good position.
Yeah. And, a lot of people forgetting that Justin Rabikoff wasn't at World Cup. So it's like, I would like to think that he's probably going to come back with a vengeance. And, I think it's still a really good team.
Yeah, 100%.
Who knows exactly what they have in store, but they're playing chess, not checkers, They're not out here just making small moves. They're out here. They're taking from teams. They're doing what they want. They're putting the money up. They're making guys, want to play. They're making guys want to literally win championships. And I think that a lot of them had that mindset. So I think they're going to be a good ass team.
Hell yeah.
So
yeah, 100%. I do too. I agree with the Matt Jackson thing. I'm curious to see how that plays out. What it does do, right, is even your top players, sometimes they're just a little off, and so it allows freedom to, hey, A-Rod, if that's who's in his position, if you're having a bad game, you could just bring someone in and then you're really fresh on Sunday. If it works out that way, if you have, 7, 8, 9 elite level guys, it works to run almost 2 lines,
Yeah.
Tough to run 2 lines when you don't have.
My thing is here with Fuzzy Jackson, I think he's a stud of a player. I've seen him how he acts toward this team, and I don't think it's right, but he's never won. That's why I don't think it's right. So
Gotcha.
if he would have shut his mouth on AC Dallas and literally listened to his coach or listened to the guys around him and not said so much, it could have went different. He was dominant. But you tell me that if I get to play every single point and I'm not going to be dominant, then I'm fucking up. So,
Yeah.
I agree with you there,
You get to play every single point. Let's hope that everything you just said and the reason why you left, because you're not going to play every single point on Impact. There's a couple guys that can play every single point on Impact. That's because they're truly elite. Let's see if you become truly elite and you don't play every single point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Facts right there. I love that because you're 100% right, dude. You really are.
Yaya is a fax machine, bro.
Yeah.
Given the
Fax machine.
I'm not saying he's not a stud. He's a stud. He's proved it. But I just thought he talked too much on that team in the pits at his guys, and I saw how he treated guys. I saw how he yelled at people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you're in that position to tell anybody or yell at anybody because you think you know it all, because I don't see one championship on your resume.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I look at it. So I get it. He went to a good ass team. He's probably going to have some success because they have a good ass program, right? Yeah. But we'll see how well he plays or how much he's in the limelight again without being there. What position do you put him in on the field? Like as Dave Baines, where do you put him at, or who do you put him over?
You put him behind Mouse, and especially if Zach, if the Canadians can't come down still, that's a solid fill in right there. I feel like they were really powerful when they had Mouse and J-Rab on the same side, but when you split those two, you have J-Rab as the 2 on the Dorito side. It just makes both sides of the field so much more deadly.
But then who plays in front of J-Rab and the Doritos?
It depends on if the Canadians
Cornell?
can get in there. Well, Brandon, we'll see how he holds up with his shoulder. I love Lil B a ton. If he's healthy, definitely Little B. Or Justin, if the Canadians come down, you let JC run wild on the Dorito side, man, all day.
Dude,
You know?
yeah.
He's a fucking, that dude's an animal.
He is such an
Yeah.
animal.
100%.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll be surprised to see how much or like what he does for Impact. You know, I mean,
Right,
hopefully he made the right move and it works out for him and he proves everybody wrong and does what it is. But I mean, okay, so even before he's in Texas, he gets to play every single weekend or he's training all the time because he's in Texas and that's where it is and that's where he's fed at and everything else. Who do you play with now until you go to your exclusive weekends with your team? How much are you playing? How much you get to get comfortable with your guys or how much you get to go tell your guys. Because I'll tell you right now, he's not going to sit and talk to Justin Rabikoff or Alex Bowman or Justin Cornell or even Brandon Cornell and tell them what's up in the pit like he did his other team because they're not little bitches and they've been there. They know what it takes and it doesn't take that. So I'm just saying, like, I just
I hear it. Damn, hey, this is a damn hot take, and it looks like you guys might play each other at the Ultimate Shootout. I see what you're doing, McGregor. I see what you're doing.
He doesn't want this mouth to run. I run my mouth when I play.
I love it, dude. I'm ready. I'm ready to tune in. I'm about to pay right now. How do I pay for? I've got 2 Go Sports subscriptions.
Man, if there was gambling and paintball, that'd be awesome. I think it'd really bring another level. But no.
That's something big you talk about there. We always talk about that, boosting each other, and like even when shit goes wrong, you still got to go in the right direction, right? We can recognize the problem and make sure that it doesn't happen again, but we don't have to. At World Cup, we were saying sails up, and we were talking about not dropping anchors on people. Like if this is a ship, we got to keep the sails up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's kind of you got to keep that energy.
Building that guy up.
Yeah, to carry it through for sure.
Absolutely. And you know, we'll see how he like reacts to things, or if he's not up there every single point, or like how his mindset is. I've seen how, you know, some of those guys act and whatnot, but it's like shit.
Yeah,
it's crazy,
dude. Texas paintball has blown up in the last couple of years.
You know, between Greg Pauly and his programs and Ryan Brand and Alex Martinez, what they've done with X Factor.
Yep.
There's a lot of people playing paintball in Texas.
Bear DeGidio, Giant Sports is heading out there. There's going to be a whole nother deal out there in Texas.
He's got a field. He's got a field in Texas now.
That's where the NXL event's going to be. It's going to be at their new field. Yeah, they've got a big ass store and field, I guess.
Yeah, it's blowing up out there. Texas, shout out! You guys are coming up. If you're in the Texas area, play paintball.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I mean, trust me. We spent a lot of time there, and we've seen it for a while, and it was like.
Yeah,
we've had it where we've gone to fields 30 minutes from our house, or we've got to like literally drive 3.5, 4 hours every time. It's like it is what it is. But yeah, it's done its justice and it's grown and it's there for a reason. So it's sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What do you think the best region is for paintball right now? What region is thriving the most?
It's got to be Texas.
Yeah. I know Hinman's making a push to give SoCal the throne back.
You know, I do love that about Hinman because when I went to the field, he had 200 people in his camp ready to fucking ride. And it was sweet because he brought all those people. He gave them a reason. He gave them a reason to wake up that day. They're going to learn something paintball. You know, he's supplying them with enough paint and doing things like that. And that's what every program I wish had, but it's not. You know, everybody wishes they could have a Sarge and things like that, or you know, even a Bart and things like that. But it's hard. It's hard for somebody to do that, to take that kind of interest in it without them seeing it. Is it possible for there to be 8 to 10 or 16 owners to do that? Absolutely. It just has to grow more.
You and Sarge came up together. Sarge, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. He wasn't always well off, right?
Oh no. I mean, since I've known him, I mean, he worked his ass off at UPS, like over 30 years at UPS. And then, I mean, he traveled. You're talking about a guy who went from Texas to Oklahoma to Chicago to Toronto to California. Yeah. And it's like, that shit doesn't come overnight. You're talking about moving your entire family and doing all kind of shit. So he busted his ass for like where he's at. And,
absolutely.
You know, he retired at 55 and things like that. And I mean, there was other things in play, but at the same time, like he never stopped working. He never lived outside of his means. And he doesn't drive like a fucking Ferrari, even though he could drive fucking 10 of them. But at the same time, it's like, you know, he lives his life inside his means and he loves paintball and he does things to, you know, influence and encourage and help take care of guys that want to play paintball because he loves it. You know, he loves to see guys succeed in it. And, you know,
you can see that. You can see that big time. He's, you know, since I was a youngster and watching the Midwest paintball scene and watching all the different paintball scenes, you could just tell, man, that guy's heart is in the right place for paintball. He loves it.
Yeah. And I mean, the biggest thing also is like, you know, he literally wants the best when it comes to people trying to grow in the sport. Like he's not like, oh, how much money can we make off this and that? Yeah, is it not great to make money? Absolutely. But like when he's in these meetings and things like that, like he does things and suggests things for the consumer to be like, hey, you know, like what about this guy that has to pay for this? And you have to take an equation of like, what are his feelings or thoughts going to be if we do this and that? Like, yeah, it might seem sweet on our end, but how is he going to feel about it? You know, let's take that into consideration. He does that a lot. And, you know, I admire him when I see him do it because he doesn't have just one end goal. Like it's not just about money for him. Like he wants to see people succeed and he wants to see everybody with a good product to have great options and to work things out. That's why he likes it when people like competitors come in like, okay, I guess they have an option. I guess now we have to thrive to make ourselves better, you know?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. You need that. That's what drives it all forward, man.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. I love it. So yeah, I got probably just one more question. And for the listeners that haven't picked this up yet, I want you to put it in layman's terms because you pretty much said it, but to be clear and concise, what do you think the number one thing is holding teams back from winning championships? Divisional, pro, whatever it is in any division.
You know, just not being, not holding themselves accountable. When you go to practice or when you go to tournaments, you want to be like, oh, that guy didn't do this or this guy. Stop pointing the finger at everybody else. Just literally take accountability for yourself and what you could have done to make your team better. Could you have had more sponsorship, more free paint so guys could practice more? And it trickles down because it's not easy. But if you literally could have done something to make the team better, you have to figure that out. So if you hold yourself accountable for not going out and even if you're not on the field, but just making shit easier for the team, then ask yourself why you didn't do that, or like what's stopping you from doing that, or like, you know, if you want to blame this guy, or like literally if you just ask yourself why I didn't do something better for the team, then I think a lot more teams would be more successful. So that kind of brings me back to the Matt Jackson situation.
Right.
You know, that team had a lot of talent and a lot of potential to win a pro tournament as they came up. All is one. And TJ Danner said he didn't want to leave AC Dallas, but he saw which way the program was going because he wanted to win with his guys. Completely respect that. But it was not going in the direction of that. And they probably have their insider shit or however it may be. But at the same time, it's like, what didn't you do better? Like, what made you have to leave to go to another program that you didn't want to make this successful? You know?
Yeah, dude.
So.
Damn, brother. Hey, where can people find you on Instagram and like Facebook, everything?
Leopard King 02 on Instagram. Yee.
If you look up the Leopard King, you'll probably see a lot of my hashtags. It's just Chad Yaya Boucher on the old Instagram, which is growing more and more every day. My Twitch is the twitch.tv with the Leopard King. Yep. And then, Facebook's just Chad Yaya Boucher. So I got a fan page and just a regular page and go back and forth between that. So,
dude, nobody owns the Leopard King 02 tag handle on Instagram.
So I looked at that. However, I think I will lose. Because I've already changed it once. I will lose the followers that I have.
What?
Yeah. So they give it to you X amount, but if you just keep changing it or some shit, I don't know. I looked into it because I changed my Twitch and then my gamer tag and things like that, like just in different realms. And they're like, you get one free one, then you got to pay, but then you could lose shit. And I'm like, yeah, about that.
So it's messy. Crazy. Dang it.
It is a dirty one when you start changing names and taking personas, so it works out. But, I love it. I love what I have, and I'm just gonna keep growing with it. And it's crazy because people send me art and they send me like things that they see Leopard, and I'm like, they're thinking of me, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I actually had a talk with one of the guys from Joy Division a week or two ago, and I told him, I was like, listen, dude, I get it. You guys at one point all were Leopard, but keep bumping your gums and we're gonna have a real problem. I'm just my trophies. So
that's funny. I didn't even know they're bumping their gums.
There's one guy there. He just gets on there and says shit, but I'm like, I get it, dude. You guys are the Leopard team, but there's no fucking trademark.
There's no Leopard King. There's a Leopard team. You know, there's no Leopard King.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, there is. You are the Leopard King.
Yeah, and like I explained it, like you got Leopard Legend Max Lundquist, and then you got Leopard God.
Dude, I can empathize with you because I as well have a tiger print that is associated with me. Obviously, you know, the whole deal with the tiger thing. So people, I feel you. They send me like everything tiger or like mantises and all these things. I get mantises all day.
It's sweet though, just because if somebody's thinking of me, like, shit,
I love it.
Something right, you know?
Yeah, totally. Well, hey, brother, thank you for everything you do in paintball, Chad, and thanks for coming on and kicking the shit with us and having some fun. We appreciate it immensely, brother. And you and your beautiful fiance and dogs, stay safe out there.
Thank
know
you guys too.
it's pretty chilly, dude. I've been seeing on the Instagram, it's freezing up there.
Oh, dude, it's snowing. I hate it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you'll have to come back out to Cali and
I know,
maybe out
right?
to Arizona, you know?
let's do it.
Hell
All
yeah,
right,
dude.
brother. Thank you, Chad. It's a fun
Hey, I'll talk to you
conversation,
guys.
man. We'll have to have you back on. The listeners got a lot of value out of this one, man, and it was
Yeah.
it was a good time. So
Yeah,
Appreciate
brother.
talk to you soon.
Leopard King, let's go.
Peace.
Let's go.
That was another amazing episode. Yes, PTG fam, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for listening, and joining us on this journey. We really hope that you guys are taking a lot of great kernels of knowledge from these episodes. We hope that it helps you in whatever journey you're on. If you're trying to become a better paintball player, better businessman, businesswoman, partner, whatever it might be, we hope that you can take some of these kernels of knowledge that we truly believe apply to all aspects, all walks of life, and are using them every single day to succeed and achieve the goals that you set out to achieve. You guys, if you would like to support the show or become a member, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com. Our Patreon is on there, and if you sign up, we have some really cool stuff that we're doing privately for our Patreons, our, as we're calling it, our winner circle, the PTG team per se. Tons of cool stuff on there. You can check it out. And obviously the show does not go on without you guys. It truly does not. All of the listeners, if we didn't have you guys, we wouldn't have a show, period. So we really love and appreciate all the feedback, all the great things from you guys. It's something Tyler and I are eternally grateful for, and we're going to continue to provide you guys with the greatest content and pump it out as much as we possibly can. Our website was designed by Rusty Glaze at Concert Pursuit, so if you guys also need any web design done, you know who to go to. Rusty's the man. He's one of the best coaches to ever coach in the game of paintball, and he's also a pretty damn good web designer. All right, everybody, until the next show, we'll see you very soon.